show me the way. Huaxian eagerly hugged her and left. Oh, to the right. The Elfshaner also breathed rapidly. Huaxian galloped away. Unexpectedly, I met the merman rainbow monster on the road. Passing by him, I felt that the evil fire that was about to explode was suppressed easily. This scene is amazing. He intended to stay a little longer. All the evil fire in his body disappeared completely. Putting the Elfshaner down, he caught up with the fishman Hong Yao and asked, "Why is it that when I am by your side, the evil fire is suppressed without a trace?" Before the fishman rainbow monster could speak, the elf fairy said, "Because she has a special talent for relieving heat. Because of this talent, she is also the person who has stayed on the list the longest." Huaxian felt that the rainbow mermaid was very special. And it would not be a bad thing if he could keep it by his side. At least he could ask her to help suppress the evil fire that he couldn't control. I was immediately interested in the fishman rainbow monster. Said to the Elfshaner, "You leave first." "You." Fairy the elf was very angry and thought, "After taking advantage of me like this, you want to not be responsible?" He said angrily, "If you want me to leave, you can. But you have to compensate me." Huaxian said generously, "Give me your devil card and I will compensate you." The Elfshaner was so angry that she threw her devil card to Huaxian. Huaxian immediately transferred 10 trillion yuan to her. The Elfshaner was stunned when she received the transfer. He looked at Huaxian in disbelief and couldn't recover for a long time. After a while, he asked. Huaxian said inferently, "No, it's just a small amount of 10 trillion. It's just a small amount of money." The elf was speechless. For the first time, she felt a strong curiosity about Huaxian. "A human. You gave me this yourself, so don't regret it." Huaxian waved his hand inferently and said, "Go. I won't regret it." "You," she said angrily, "I am the 7th most beautiful woman on the heavenly ranking after all. How can you despise me like this?" Huaxian said seriously, "I don't dislike you, I just want to be alone with the fishman rainbow monster for a while." You won't like women after you follow her. There is such a thing." Huaxian was a little shocked. Chapter 549, Why don't you pay them to kill me? He asked the fishman rainbow monster. "Is that so?" The fishman rainbow demon shook his head and said, "I don't know, this is what outsiders said." Huaxian said, "Then I want to give it a try." Seeing this, the elf fairy left angrily. "If I stay any longer, I will only get angrier." Huaxian was about to ask the merman rainbow monster. The sky darkened again. The situation was similar to when Ziyuan Zihentian arrived. Except that the pressure was even more terrifying. It was obvious that the existence that was about to arrive was more powerful than Ziyuan Zihentian. It is not difficult to guess that this is probably the arrival of the powerful person behind Ziyuan Zihentian. The power is becoming more and more terrifying, as if it is really going to destroy the world. At this time, in the central area of Paradise Island, the teleportation array lit up with dazzling light. The strongest man, the Earth Bear King, was here to greet us personally. Not long after, a middle-aged woman appeared in the formation. She looked around and found that almost all the security guards of Paradise Island were here. His eyes fell on the Earth Bear King and asked, "Where is the human who caused the trouble?" The Earth Bear King took out a crystal ball and immediately locked it through the ID card. He quickly said, "With the second-ranked fishman rainbow monster on the heavenly ranking." A woman glanced up into the sky and said, "Take me to find him." A group of people rushed away with the woman. Huaxian was found quickly. Huaxian's gaze couldn't help but fall on the woman. "Just because I sensed a dangerous aura from her." The woman looked at Huaxian and frowned. "Are you hiding from disaster on my Paradise Island?" Huaxian smiled and said, "No, I just spend money here." The woman frowned and said, "Your powerful enemy is coming. So please go and deal with him before you come back to spend money." Huaxian still smiled and said, "Is this how Paradise Island receives guests? If that's the case, then I'll leave." He said to the fishman rainbow monster, "Give me your demon card, I am very satisfied with your company. I will reward you with 10 million demon crystals." Upon hearing this huge reward, the powerful people on Paradise Island were extremely shocked. 100 trillion demon crystals are already at the level of consuming a 200-star god. The rainbow mermaid naturally would not feel bad about the demon crystal. So he took out the demon card and handed it to Huaxian. In front of everyone, Huaxian transferred 10 trillion to her. "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 20 trillion demon crystals within 50 minutes and obtained 4 lottery fragments. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit 5 times and consume 100 trillion demon crystals in 50 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. Complete the mission to obtain 4 lottery opportunity fragments." The fishman rainbow monster of the Earth Bear dynasty asked, "Did he really transfer 10 trillion demon crystals to you?" The fishman rainbow monster answered truthfully, "Yes." It is 10 trillion demon crystals. Not only that, he also transferred 10 trillion to the Elfsjoner before. What? Everyone was shocked. Staring at Huaxian in shock. I thought, even if you are rich, you shouldn't spend demon crystals like this. Right? It would be fine if you redeemed these beauties. But the key is just to give them rewards. Why is that? Are you crazy? Huaxian said with a smile. Since Border City Paradise Island doesn't welcome me, then I will go to Paradise Island in other regions. After saying that, he strode away. Wait, the woman shouted. Huaxian stopped, without turning back or saying anything. The woman came up to Huaxian, clasped her fists and said, I was rude just now. As compensation, I can. Huaxian interrupted. As for compensation, I don't need anything else. How about you kiss me? The other security guards cried out in shock. Even the fishman Yao Hong is the same. Although the security guards are just working for Paradise Island, their ability also needs to be considered. The woman in front of me is obviously not simple. The woman frowned and looked at Huaxian. Everyone stared at her, wanting to know her reaction. After a while, Huaxian took a deep breath, approached Huaxian, and kissed Huaxian on the face. After the kiss, he disappeared from the spot. Huaxian grinned, judging from the change in the woman's expression when she kissed him just now. This woman definitely had no experience of sexual relations between men and women. Boom! There was a loud explosion in the sky. A figure appeared. The terrifying scene in the sky gradually disappeared. The scorching sun illuminated the earth, and the figure was clearly seen by everyone. He is 70, similar to the evil villain who came before. He paused in the air for a long time, as if he was confirming something, then walked towards Paradise Island. That's right. Stepping into the air, walking towards Paradise Island step by step. Every step he took was so ordinary and he looked no different from an ordinary person. But everyone knows how ordinary people can step in the air. Soon they arrived at the 8th heaven where Huaxian and his friends were. He fell to the ground, his eyes fixed on Huaxian. After looking at him for a while, he didn't seem to be facing an enemy at all, so he asked calmly, It was you who killed my son? Huaxian said confidently. So what if it's me? The other party nodded, and said without any anger, If it's you, then pay with your life. Huaxian said calmly, This is Paradise Island, how dare you touch me? Paradise Island will save you? The other party said disdainfully. This is Or, the woman appears again. He said coldly, Of course I won't save him, but on Paradise Island, no one is allowed to break the rules. The other party frowned and looked at the woman and said, Bat Xiling, I didn't expect you to appear in Bai Anji City. Did you come here specifically for her? Bat Xiling said coldly. Of course not, I'm here for those troublemakers. The other party was silent for a while and then said, Tell me, what will it take for you to let me kill him and avenge my son? Bat Xiling said, Simple, your identity should also be the Consumption God Lord. Right? In the points battle, if you beat his identity down to the Consumption God Lord, my Paradise Island will naturally not care about him anymore. From what I know, this guy has terrifying financial resources. I don't think this method will work. Huaxian then asked the woman, Can I ask you to help me kill someone? Bat Xiling was stunned for a moment, then said, If the price is enough, of course it's okay. Huaxian looked at the middle-aged man fiercely and asked, What would it cost to kill him? The whole audience was shocked. No one expected that he would ask Paradise Island to help kill someone. The middle-aged man said disdainfully, Let the people of Paradise Island kill me. You really know how to have fun. Huaxian stared at the woman and ignored him. The woman said after a while, He is a 400-star consumption god. To kill him, you need to pay 3 times the price of a 400-star consumption god. It takes 100 trillion demon crystal points to consume the 400-star god lord. And 3 times that is 300 trillion demon crystal points. This is an astronomical price for many wealthy people. Huaxian smiled bitterly. The price was really high and he couldn't afford it. The middle-aged man sneered, Why don't you pay them to kill me? Chapter 550, Using the Fool How to Escape. Huaxian asked Bat Xiling again, What if I offer 1 trillion? What can you do to him for me? Bat Xiling said, It's okay to injure them. However, that has to happen outside Paradise Island. Inside Paradise Island, if he consumes the status of a 400-star god, we won't touch him no matter how much you pay. Huaxian nodded and said, Then I'll give you 100 trillion. And I'll be out in a while. He should be out of Paradise Island. And then you can help me hurt him. How do you think? Okay. Bat Xiling agreed readily and handed the devil card to Huaxian. Huaxian transferred the money immediately. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 100 trillion demon crystals in 50 minutes and obtained 4 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding, new mission. Complete a 5-fold critical hit within 50 minutes and consume 5 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, for lucky draw opportunity fragments will be obtained. The middle-aged man frowned, somewhat dissatisfied. He did not expect that Paradise Island would give such face to the 199-star consumer god. A 400-star consumption god was ignored. However, he was reluctant to take out 1 trillion, so I didn't say anything. In his opinion, even if he was injured, it would be more than enough to kill this guy. Huaxian flew towards the outside of Paradise Island with full confidence. That's right, if you consume the god of consumption, you will be eligible to fly in Paradise Island. I looked at the lottery fragments which had accumulated to 24 pieces. System, give me the chances to draw Super God level 5 upgrade scrolls. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have won a Super God level 5 upgrade scroll in the lottery. Consuming 2 lottery chances. Huaxian was stunned. Only 1? Very speechless. Apparently one of the lucky draw opportunities didn't work out. I didn't expect that with an 80 success rate, it could still fail. I wonder if the system did it on purpose. There is no rush to use the upgrade coupons. Use them at critical moments to deal a fatal blow to the enemy. Soon we flew out of Paradise Island. The middle-aged man followed closely behind. The strong men from Paradise Island also followed over, wanting to see how Huaxian would deal with Ziyuan Baeyuan, the strong man from the Ziyuan clan. Ziyuan Baeyuan rushed towards Huaxian immediately. Baqiling also immediately became impulsive. Bang! The super god at level 18 crushed the Haoshen at level 15, then punched Ziyuan Baeyuan hard on the back. Ew! Ziyuan Baeyuan was severely injured instantly. He turned around and looked at Baqiling viciously. You are really cruel. I thought Baqiling would just go through the motions, but I didn't expect her to be so cruel to me. Baqiling said coldly. Take money from others and do things for them. But she muttered in her heart. That was the man I kissed. If I had to kill him, I would have done it myself. Ziyuan Baeyuan said fiercely. Very good, I will remember it. He suddenly looked at Huaxian, who was not far away, and said in an extremely cold voice, if you don't seize the opportunity to escape, then die. The strength of the 15th level super god broke out completely and rushed towards Huaxian. The might was so devastating that it terrified countless creatures. Huaxian, however, looked calm. This scene made countless creatures confused again. Facing such an extremely powerful person, why is this guy so calm? System, use the upgrade scroll to strengthen my 98 evil gene realm. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have successfully used the Super God level 5 upgrade scroll to strengthen the evil 98 gene realm. And your current realm is Super God level 16. Boom! The space exploded. The spear in Ziyuan Baeyuan's hand stabbed Huaxian's head fiercely. The whole audience watched this scene, and the shock they felt was indescribable. Hubby, be careful. DFE, and the others cried out in worry. I prayed silently for Huaxian in my heart. Even though it was extremely dangerous, everyone found that this human remained calm and unmoved. Could he be scared silly? Someone muttered in disbelief. Some people also said, I don't think so, he looks so confident and seems to be ignoring his enemies. It looked like he was about to be shot in the head. Huaxian stretched out his hand and quickly grabbed the gun that Ziyuan Baeyuan was holding. Ziyuan Baeyuan thought he was about to avenge his son, but he felt an extremely strong resistance. After looking carefully, I found that this human was holding his ferocious weapon with one hand. How is this possible? Even though he was severely injured by Baqiling, he still possessed at least the combat power of the 14th level of the super god. Such a fierce attack was easily caught by this human. He burst out with all his strength and wanted to continue stabbing with the spear. The spear shaft was bent and deformed, and it couldn't move forward at all. What was most shocking was that Huaxian held the spear in one hand with a calm expression, as if it was effortless. Break it for me. Ziyuan Baeyuan roared with an extremely ugly expression. Click. The spear could not withstand the increasingly powerful force and exploded in the middle. Huaxian held the spear in his hand, turned the spear head, and instantly approached Ziyuan Baeyuan. Phew. He used the tip of his own gun to pierce Ziyuan Baeyuan's head. This scene scared many timid people and made them scream. Ziyuan Baeyuan is a super god of level 15 with powerful genes, and even the explosion of his head does not affect his ability to continue to be in the void. A sharp sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed Huaxian's neck with it. As usual, Huaxian reached out and grabbed the sword. Click. This time, it broke directly. Dew. It stabbed fiercely into Ziyuan Baeyuan's heart. The most important things were his brain and heart, which were severely damaged. Ziyuan Baeyuan's condition was extremely bad. Just when Huaxian was about to suppress and kill him. Boom. This guy actually crushed a talisman trench. A strange light enveloped him and he disappeared from the spot in an instant. The whole audience was stunned with shock. The Ziyuan clan sent a powerful super god-level warrior. But he was defeated by this human race and fled after crushing the space talisman trench. Huaxian clapped his hands and shouted into the void. If you dare to come again, you will definitely not have a chance to escape next time. After saying that, he flew towards Paradise Island. Bat Xiling looked at Huaxian flying back, her beautiful eyes shining with excitement. The Earth Bear King at the side couldn't help but say, "This guy clearly has the power to crush Yuan Ba Yuan. Why did he spend 1,000,000,000,000 demon crystals to let Lord Bet Xiling take action? Could it be that he has taken a fancy to Master Bet Xiling? You know, before, he even asked Master Bet Xiling to kiss him. That's definitely the case." Bet Xiling blushed and scolded. "Shut up right there if you dare to talk nonsense again. Don't blame me for being rude to you." After saying that, he sped away. My heart was beating like a deer, and I thought, could it be that this guy really likes me? He took out a small mirror and looked at himself, thinking that although he had become older due to his stagnant cultivation, he still had his charm. There were many people pursuing me in the past, but because of my practice, I couldn't get involved in matters between men and women. Now it feels so wonderful to kiss a man. I really want to try it again. No, I have to find him and ask him if he likes me. Chapter 551. I want to meet the three goddesses. Huaxian went straight to Qiuqixia's yard. When Qiuqixia saw Huaxian coming, her worried expression immediately subsided and she said coldly, "Why weren't you beaten to death by Ziyuan Ba Yuan?" Huaxian said with a smile, "Isn't it because I can't bear to leave you? Besides, don't you want to have dinner?" Having said that, he walked straight to the kitchen. When Qiuqixia heard about dinner, her eyes immediately lit up thinking of the beautiful woman preparing the food made by Huaxian. She began to swallow her saliva. At this time, the Bat Xiling arrived. "Sir, what do you want to do for me?" Qiuqixia did not dare to disrespect the super god-level strongman. Bat Xiling looked at Qiuqixia and asked, "I saw that human flew into your yard. Where is he? You looking for him?" Qiuqixia murmured in surprise. Then said, "He's in the kitchen cooking." "Cook?" Bat Xiling hurried to the kitchen. Qiuqixia also followed curiously, wanting to know what this Bat Xiling wanted to do with Huaxian. At this moment, Huaxian has entered the realm of super god-level cooking. He was completely unaware that someone had arrived, naturally busy making dishes. Bat Xiling could tell at a glance that Huaxian had entered the realm of culinary art. I was very surprised. I didn't expect that this guy not only had such high genetic level, but also had such terrible cooking skills. Qiuqixia was also surprised because at noon, Huaxian cooked very casually. Now that he has entered such a profound state of mind, wouldn't the food he makes be even more delicious? Everyone couldn't wait. They both chose not to disturb and watched patiently from a distance, smelling the aroma salivo again and again. After a long time, Bat Xiling asked, "Have you ever eaten the dishes made by this guy?" Qiuqixia nodded and said, "I ate it once at noon, but it was just simple vegetables and shredded potatoes." "How does it taste?" "It tastes amazing, the best food I've ever had." "It seems that I'm in for a treat tonight. Why don't you suggest that I have a meal at your place?" Qiuqixia smiled bitterly and said, seeing how many delicious foods he made, "There should be enough for us to eat." Ding, consumption task countdown. 605,958. The consumption task reminder, which would be brought in 50 minutes, startled Huaxian. He looked at the identity card and the Black Devil card and threw them to Qiuqixia and said, "Hurry up and help me recharge 500 trillion Evil Crystal points." Qiuqixia cried out in surprise. "I was thinking, why do you suddenly need to recharge just for cooking a meal?" Huaxian urged, "Hurry up, it's urgent." Qiuqixia smiled bitterly and quickly completed the recharge for Huaxian. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 500 trillion Eman crystals within 50 minutes and obtained for lottery opportunity fragments. Ding, new mission, completed within 60 minutes to consume 6 times the critical hit and 300 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, you will get 3 lottery chance fragments. Huaxian was speechless. After the consumption was restored to 60 minutes, there was 1 less reward fragment. If this continues, the longer the consumption time, the fewer fragments there will be, right? After recharging 500 trillion demon crystals, Huaxian's status directly soared to the 399-star level of the consumer god. Soon, another hour passed. Huaxian continued, "Kaya, recharge me with 300 trillion demon crystal points." Not only Qiuqixia was stunned, but even Bat Xiling was extremely shocked. "I thought you are a human who has been oppressed by all races. Where did you get so many demon crystals? You must know that this is a demon crystal, not a demon coin." Qiuqixia said bitterly, "Mr. Hu, you don't have to recharge like this, right?" Huaxian said, I want to see the 3 goddesses. So isn't it normal to top up? 3 goddesses. When it comes to the 3 goddesses, Eucoxia is very curious. Even though she was the 3rd most beautiful woman on the heavenly ranking, she had never seen the 3 goddesses. She was not jealous because she felt she had no right to be jealous of the 3 goddesses. I quickly completed the recharge for Huaxian. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have completed the task of consuming 300 trillion in 60 minutes and receive 3 lottery fragments. Ding! New mission, complete the critical hit 3 times 900 trillion Eman crystals within 60 minutes. And the host will be killed if the mission fails. Complete the mission to get 3 lottery fragments. Okay, the food is ready. What are you standing there for? Come over here and serve the meal. Yukuxi and Batchiling finally reacted and rushed over to serve the dishes to the table. After a while, a large table of delicious food was served. You're welcome. Yukuxia picked up the chopsticks and started eating. Batchiling also said, I'm not polite either. Wow! Delicious, so delicious. Really, this is the most delicious dish I have ever eaten in my life. It's simply incomparable. The 2 women ate voraciously, without any image at all. Uexia looked at the 2 of them with a smile, and picked up his chopsticks and started eating. I am very satisfied with my cooking skills. I thought, when I have more chances to draw, I will draw some coupons for cooking upgrade and let you know what it means to capture someone's stomach if you like her. A meal should take an hour. As a result, within 30 minutes, a whole table of delicious food was swept away. Uexia himself didn't eat much. They were all swept away by Yukuxia and Batchiling. Both of them lay on the chairs with their stomachs full, not wanting to move at all. Uexia looked at her with a smile and asked, aren't you afraid that no one will want you if you get fat? Both of them were stunned when they heard this. Yukuxia pretended to be indifferent and said, no one wants it, and I won't give it to you cheaply. Uexia asked with a smile, are you really not lying to me? It won't be cheap for you. What about you, Shiling the bat? Bat Shiling smiled and said, if you make delicious food like this for me every day, I will follow you. Uexia smiled and said, you are so easy to I won you over with just 1 meal. Of course not, I've lived for tens of millions of years and I've long felt that it's meaningless. I'm content to be able to eat such delicious food every day. Uexia said, okay, I'll cook it for you when I have time. Bat Shiling suddenly asked, I'm not good looking. Why don't you dislike me? Uexia smiled and said, because you are awesome. I just want to be protected by you. TSK, you're pretty awesome yourself. At this moment, Bat Shiling acted like a girl. He didn't treat Huaxian as an outsider and spoke very casually. Huaxian smiled and said, no matter how powerful one is, one still wants to be protected, especially by one's own woman. That is also a kind of happiness. Bat Shiling smiled bitterly and said, unfortunately my talent has reached its limit. Super God level 18 is my limit. And? Bat Shiling was a little afraid to speak. Huaxian asked curiously, and what? Chapter 552, Crazy Attack. Forget it. I'm afraid you'll dislike me if I tell you. Bat Shiling refused with a wry smile. Tell me, I promise I won't dislike you, Huaxian said seriously. So I'll tell you. You'll know it anyway even if I don't tell you. Go ahead. This is related to the technique I'm practicing. I can't have sex once I do. The balance between yin and yang will be broken, and my cultivation will be ruined. Huaxian frowned. So, I can't touch you, or your 18th level super god cultivation will be ruined. Yes, that's right. Bat Shiling admitted worriedly. Huaxian was the only man she had ever kissed, and now she was attracted by his cooking skills. She was really worried about being rejected. Huaxian thought for a moment and said, and I won't touch you for now, I'll touch you when I have a solution. Really? Bat Shiling was a little bit unbelievable. Very suspicious. Since her figure and appearance are only average, why does Huaxian tolerate herself so well? He looked at Huaxian seriously and asked curiously, why don't you dislike me? Then why should I dislike you? Huaxian asked back. Okay, I like what I like. Don't think too much about it. So corny. Yukuxia rolled her eyes and said, thank you, Xian. Bat Shiling threw herself into Huaxian's arms, hugged him tightly and said. Huaxian stroked her back with great enjoyment. This warmth lasted for a long time. Kaixia, help me recharge 900 trillion Eman crystals. Are you recharging like crazy just to sleep with me? Yukuxia asked without any hesitation. I thought, once you recharge it, it's no longer yours. Huaxian nodded and smiled. You can think so. Recharge now. Yukuxia rolled her eyes and completed the recharge for Huaxian. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you completed a critical hit within 60 minutes. Consumed 900 trillion Eman crystals, and obtained 3 lottery fragments. Ding! New mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 60 minutes and consume 2 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, free lottery fragments will be obtained. After completing the recharge, the star reached 402 instantly, which was enough to consume Q-Cuxia or redeem her. Q-Cuxia looked at his ID card and said, "Now, what are you going to do?" At the same time, there are also some expectations. Huaxian smiled and pushed Bat Xiling away, walked over, took her hand, and gently pulled her into his arms. But Q-Cuxia did not refuse this time. Huaxian then said, "What else can I do? Of course I have to redeem you and keep you forever." A hot breath next to her ear made Q-Cuxia's face turn red. Her heart was beating like a deer, and she was extremely nervous. In order to relieve his embarrassment, the foreign slave said, "You are so domineering." After saying that, he pulled Huaxian away. Bat Xiling did not follow. Soon we arrived at the 8th Heaven Service Center. "Respected Lord 400 to Star Consumer God, may I ask what you want?" The staff member was a very beautiful woman. The clothes she wore were exactly like a swimsuit, except that she was a little revealing, which made Huaxian speechless. He said calmly, "I'm here to redeem Miss Q-Cuxia." Seeing that Huaxian didn't even look at them, the staff felt a little disappointed. I cursed inwardly, wondering if this guy was in poor health. Even though I'm not as beautiful as the beauties on the list, I'm still a 9-franc beauty. Even with all this, you're not moved at all. So you must be in poor health. Respected Lord 400 to Star Consumer God, you have reached the status of redeeming the 3rd most beautiful woman on the heavily ranking. But you need to pay 100 trillion demon crystal points. The price for redeeming the freedom of a beauty on the beauty list is a demon crystal point of 1 level higher in status. Huaxian is within the 400 star range, so in order to redeem Q-Cuxia, she needs to pay 500 stars of demon crystal points from the consumption god. This kind of setting is completely intentional and aims to prevent people from easily redeeming the beauties on the list. Q-Cuxia looked at Huaxian and didn't think that she couldn't afford 100 million rillion. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, "Cuxia, how about we come back tomorrow to redeem you?" "Oh," Q-Cuxia rolled her eyes. "Why tomorrow? Can you raise 100 million rillion on goldstones tomorrow?" Huaxian nodded and said, "Yes, I will be able to raise all the money tomorrow. There is only one night between tomorrow and now. I see you just don't want to redeem me." After saying that, he left angrily. Huaxian touched his nose awkwardly. The beautiful staff member said, "Handsome guy, the beauty on the heavenly ranking has left. But don't we still have me? I was once a beauty on the earthly ranking. Do you see? Ever? So you've been slept with by someone?" Huaxian left after saying this. "You?" This 9-franc beauty was furious. But the other party was of noble status, so he dared not get angry. I cursed in my heart, "Even if I have been slept with by someone, you can't get what you want." Boom! There was a loud thunder in the sky, illuminating the entire night sky. The next moment, a huge crack appeared, and after a few seconds, a figure walked out of the crack. He was a white-haired old man with extremely powerful evil genes. At least at the 20th level of Super God, Huaxian found himself being locked in. The next moment, the old man punched Huaxian in the air. This scene shocked the entire border city. "How dare you to run wild on my paradise island?" Bat Xiling cursed, appeared in the night sky, and attacked with all his strength. Boom! Although he crushed the old man's attack, he was also hit by the aftermath. As he fell to the ground, he spit out a large amount of blood. His face was pale. Obviously he was seriously injured. "Xiling!" Huaxian cried out in pain and rushed over to catch the Bat Xiling. Bat Xiling ignored her own injuries and anxiously said to Huaxian, "Huaxian, run to the Death Island." Huaxian was deeply moved. Boom! There was a loud bang. It was that strong man who punched Huaxian again. And this punch was even more ferocious than the previous one. Buzz! The space rumbled, and Huaxian's fighting power was fully activated, and he suddenly threw the Bat Xiling far away. The spiritual weapon he forged appeared in his hand. The demonized Cafe Fiket appeared on his shoulder, and the billion-fold increase in combat power was activated. God's repression. Crazy attack starts mobilizing all the power of the evil 98 gene realm. A crazy attack can kill all powerful enemies by leaping 5 levels. The weakness is that you will be weak for 3 days after using it. Booming magnet. He moved at an extremely fast speed, avoiding the opponent's attack and coming in front of him. A sword slashed out. "What? The speed is too fast." The old man only had time to utter these 2 words. Phew! The whole body was split into 2 halves by Huaxian. A terrifying amount of evil genes shattered the old man's genetic power, leaving him no chance of survival. The soul left the body, and the old man was terrified and wanted to escape. The seal of 1 billion times the soul power has been lifted. And now he has reached the 16th level of Super God. And can carry it perfectly. Devouring souls. The incomparably powerful soul first rushed out of the body, caught up with the old man's soul in the blink of an eye, and swallowed it in one gulp. Chapter 553, Versailles. The soul returns. The terrifying skill of devouring souls can refine souls weaker than one's own in a matter of minutes. The feeling of the soul becoming noticeably stronger is very refreshing. Unfortunately, after launching a crazy attack, the evil 98 gene realm will be weakened for 3 days. And the strongest power will become weak, giving Huaxian a feeling of emptiness. Boom! At this time, the body of this powerful man fell to the ground. The entire border city fell into silence. No one made any sound because they were all stunned. Such a terrifying super god level strongman was killed by just one sword. That's right, in the eyes of those who witnessed everything, Huaxian was the one who easily killed this powerful enemy with just one sword. Even the Bat Shiling was stunned. It took him a long time to react and he rushed towards Huaxian. At this time, there were also several beautiful figures rushing towards them. Xian, how are you? Bat Shiling asked, grabbing Huaxian's hand. Huaxian smiled confidently. What do you think of my appearance? But his eyes were looking into the distance. After seeing it clearly, I was completely stunned. Beautiful, each one more beautiful than the other. Among all the beauties I have ever seen, no one can compare to her. Bat Shiling followed Huaxian's gaze and rolled her eyes, thinking what a playboy. Having just experienced danger, now I am going to see beautiful women. These beautiful figures appeared in front of Huaxian. Huaxian's eyes fell on their ID cards. None of them hid their identities. The most beautiful woman on the heavily ranking, Feng Longyan Xia. The third most beautiful woman on the god list, Colorful Spiral. The second most beautiful woman on the god list, Shui Ling Wu. The most beautiful woman on the god list, Swan Mayer Yuo. The 4 beauties actually came together. They all looked at Huaxian curiously. Huaxian felt flattered. Human, what is your level of cultivation? The Colorful Spiral couldn't help but ask. Huaxian smiled and said, Sister, my cultivation is not high, I need your protection. Colorful Spiral was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, Okay little brother, I will protect you, come with me. He also extended his hand toward Huaxian. Huaxian walked over like a lost soul. He stretched out his hand and placed it in the palm of the Colorful Spiral. I just felt a chill coming over me. The touch was wonderful and made my heart beat faster. It was very mysterious. The Colorful Spiral pulled Huaxian away. Colorful Spiral, are you going too far? Shui Lingwu couldn't help but say. Colorful Spiral stopped and looked at the other party. Then asked with a smile, Sister Shui Lingwu, how did I go too far? Do you like my brother? If you like him, I will introduce him to you. Then give it to me. Shui Lingwu walked over and grabbed Huaxian's other hand. Huaxian was extremely confused. I couldn't help but ask. 2 sisters, what are you doing? I thought, aren't the beauties on the god list hard to consume? Why do they feel more enthusiastic than the beauties on the heaven list? Feeling the touch of both of them, he exclaimed, they are equally matched. But how come I don't have any evil thoughts? Looking back suddenly, I found that the Rainbow Mermaid had arrived at the scene without me noticing when. And several beauties on the heavily ranking, including Elsianer, are here too. What's going on? Huaxian looked confused. Bat Shiling came to Huaxian and whispered in his ear. Who doesn't like a capable man? These beautiful women seem to have taken a fancy to you. Are you excited? Huaxian subconsciously asked. Then, will that legendary beauty fall in love with me? Bat Shiling was stunned. And smiled bitterly and said, I have never seen any of the legendary beauties. So it is hard to say whether the legendary beauties exist or not. Because no one can afford them. Like this, the 3 goddesses. Only a handful of them can afford it. The more this happened, the more curious Huaxian became. At this time, Qianchen Meryuo came over and said, My 2 sisters, why don't you stop fighting to avoid hurting the relationship? How about giving this brother to me? Huaxian hurriedly said, Hey 3 sisters, I am the consumer, shouldn't I be the one making the choice? The 3 of them suddenly realized and said in unison. Then you make the choice. Huaxian chuckled and said, Only children make choices, I want both of you. Pull it hard. I thought I could easily pull Shui Lingwu and Qi Xian Luan into my arms. And then hug them left and right. Wouldn't that be wonderful? As a result, neither of them moved. Huaxian was stunned. Only then did he remember that his only super god realm, the evil 98 gene realm, had been weak for 3 days. And none of the other realms had reached the super god level. However, the 2 beauties in front of him were both super god level powerful beings. This is embarrassing. The 2 were also stunned, obviously not feeling the strong genetic aura from Huaxian. Colorful Spiral frowned and asked, "Is it really you who killed the Black Grudge Clan warrior just now?" "Wait, the Black Grudge Clan? Isn't that the evil Grudge Clan?" Uxian asked back. The Black Grudge Clan is also the evil Grudge Clan. Because of internal conflicts within the evil Grudge Clan, they split into many branches. These branches gave themselves different names. The one who came to cause trouble for you is a strong man who claims to be from the Black Grudge Clan. Of course, we in the outside world still call them the evil clan. There's no need to get hung up on the name. You haven't answered my question yet. Uxian nodded and said, "It was indeed me who killed the powerful man of the Ziyuan clan." "Then can you show me your realm pressure?" "Good. Super God Disguise." Buzz. A devastating super god level pressure erupted from Uxian's body, sweeping across the entire border city. The ultimate pressure of the super god disguise is determined by the highest level of the host. Uxian's highest realm is super god level 16, although he is in a weak period. The level is real super god disguise is based on super god level 16, and it bursts out with terrifying pressure comparable to that of a super god level 50. Boom boom boom. The terrifying pressure reached the soul and no living creature could resist it. They all knelt down instinctively. This scene happened to be seen by a powerful man from the Black Evil clan who was spying. After all, 2 core members died and 1 escaped in Border City. And the Black Evil clan also took it very seriously. So they used special means to observe Uxian, hoping to find out his background and then make countermeasures. But I didn't expect to see Uxian burst out with such momentum. In front of the screen, an old man exclaimed, "This hewing race is so terrifying. I'm afraid they are at least at the 50th level of Super God. The enemy is so strong and has many means to surpass his level. What should we do now?" The old man in the lead said, "What else can we do? The strongest of my race is only at the 45th level of Super God. Let's put the matter of the human race aside for now and adjourn the meeting." Paradise silent. Uxian put away his Super God disguise, put his hands behind his back, looked around, and said in a very impressive manner, "Sisters, my cultivation is just a little bit, and I will count on you to protect me from now on." All the beauties at the scene rolled their eyes. I thought to myself, I've seen people who pretend to be cool, but I've never seen anyone as pretentious as you. To Versailles. "Okay brother, come with me, I will protect you well." Swan Mayor Yuo pulled Uxian and ran. Chapter 554, Something Must Be Wrong. Swan Mayor Yuo. "You are despicable." Chui Lingwu and Qi Ling Luan both quickly chased after him. Although Feng Longyan Xia didn't say anything, she followed closely behind. The other beauties followed after a moment of hesitation. Uxian followed behind Swan Mayor Yuo happily. The feeling in his hand made him feel like he was ascending to heaven. It was indescribable, it was just very comfortable. He wanted to hold her hand like this and never let go. Looking at the beautiful back of Swan Mayor Yuo that was looming in the distance, an impulse came over me. Suddenly burst out, rushed over to hug the Swan Mayor Yuo. Boom. Bang. A powerful aura burst out from Swan Mayor Yuo's body. He kicked Uxian and sent him flying. Because his hand was being held, he pulled Uxian back. This was an instinctive operation. So Swan Mayor Yuo was also stunned. He pulled him back without trying to avoid it, allowing Uxian to fall into his arms. A natural fragrance rushed into his nose, making the depressed Uxian fall into a daze. It smelled so good that it intoxicated him to the point of losing his mind. When Qian Swan Mayor Yuo saw a large group of people chasing after her, she had no time to think about it. How could such a powerful Uxian be kicked away by her? Pick him up and run. Soon we arrived at the 9th heaven. The environment here is like a fairyland apart from beautiful women above the 10th rank. There is no other guest. This is a place where only the consumer gods are qualified to consume. Even if the consumer gods want to come here, only those with very high star ratings and special permission can enter. Of course, with a beauty from the divine list leading the way, it would be easy to get in. These beauties above rank 10 were all shocked when they saw Qian Mayor Yuo, a beauty from the divine list, running towards them quickly with a man in her arms, subconsciously looking at the man she was hugging. First of all, it's the identity card, and then it costs 400 stars of the God Lord? The appearance is okay. What makes Swan the most beautiful woman on the God list? So crazy beautiful. A swan is as beautiful as you are mean. Chui Lingwu's roar was heard. Soon, a large group of beautiful women were seen chasing after him. What is shocking is that the 3 goddesses and the beauties on the heavenly ranking are all there. There are many other beauties. What is going on? Qian Swan Mayor Yuo ignored her and rushed to her residence with Uxian. After entering, he closed the gate of the yard. As a super technological courtyard, its defense index is very high. It is not easy for a super god to destroy it, let alone dare not destroy it. So she shut everyone else out. Only then did he let Uxian go. Huaxian hasn't reacted yet. Swan Mare Yuo actually took off all her clothes. Huaxian was stunned. Have you forgotten what you should do? I just can't figure out what's going on. When Yanswan Mare Yuo was completely naked, she stared at Huaxian and said, "What are you standing there for? Hurry up." "What's the hurry?" Huaxian asked subconsciously. Swan Mare Yuo rolled her eyes and said, "I'm already like this, what do you want me to do quickly? Or do you think I'm not beautiful enough?" Gurgle. Huaxian looked at what he shouldn't have seen and couldn't help swallowing. After getting used to it, the reaction was very strong. Suddenly, he felt something was wrong, and he suppressed his evil fire and asked, "My status is not yet enough to consume you, why do you?" "Damn it, Swan Mare Yuo interrupted loudly, "You are a man. Why are you so long-winded? I am a great beauty on the divine list. And I have taken the initiative, what do you want? Do you really have to force me to take the initiative?" Huaxian always felt that things were not that simple. How can I fall from the sky? The beauties on the previous Earth list and Heaven list were not so proactive. But the beauties on the God list are so proactive. Huaxian felt that there must be something wrong when things were abnormal. It is not advisable to stay here for long. Turn around and run. Swan Mare Yuo was stunned by this scene. I am a great beauty on the God list and I took the initiative to do this. But this guy actually ran away? Huaxian rushed to the gate of the yard. Without Swan Mare Yuo's permission, the door cannot be opened at all. Fly up. Ding dong. An extremely powerful defense formation appeared, making Huaxian's head buzz. The beautiful women outside could also see Huaxian through the transparent protective shield. Oh my god, he seems so scared. What is Swan Mare Yuo going to do to him? A great woman exclaimed when she saw it for the first time. Just at this moment, the swan, as beautiful as if she was wearing a gauze, approached Huaxian. At this moment, Huaxian's highest level of cultivation was in a weak state. After all, his real level of cultivation was too weak, and he was completely unable to struggle. She was embraced by Swan Mare Yuo and carried down to the ground. In the eyes of outsiders, it was Huaxian who was resisting violently. Swan Mare Yuo, the devil, was forcing. Despicable. I never thought Swan Mare Yuo was so despicable. She forced me to do it even though I didn't want to. The colorful spiral cursed angrily. Swan Mare Yuo rushed into the room holding Huaxian, the veil on her body having already fallen off. Feeling the softness, Huaxian subconsciously looked over and grunted. I couldn't help swallowing my saliva. It was so tempting. Swan Mare Yuo smiled and said, "It's already like this. Can you still endure it? If you can still endure it, I will think you are not a man." Huaxian suppressed the anger that was about to explode, and asked with rapid breathing, Why are you so proactive?" Swan Mare Yuo smiled and said, "Are you restricted by those rigid rules? Let me tell you, we, the great beauties on the divine list, have a cooperative relationship with Paradise Island." Cooperative relationship? Huaxian didn't understand what was going on. Swan Mare Yuo explained, "Yes, it is a partnership. Our goal is to find an excellent partner, such as you, who is not very old but has such a terrifying cultivation level. Only someone like you is worthy of us. But, with your beauty, if you want to find an excellent partner, there is no need to come to Paradise Island, right?" Swan Mare Yuo said patiently, "It seems that you still don't understand Paradise Island. Let me tell you, people with strength, background, and noble status must have noble status in Paradise Island. Because for the creatures of Red Moon Star, the identity of Paradise Island is the highest identity. For example, if you were to walk down the street with the identity of a 400-star consumer god, you would cause a sensation. So, it's much easier to find an excellent partner on Paradise Island than to go out into the vast sea of people by yourself." Huaxian finally understood. "So you three goddesses are not employees of Paradise Island at all, but just partners. Yes, you finally understand. Then, if I sleep with you, wouldn't it be easy for me to redeem you?" Huaxian asked subconsciously. "We have to redeem her. This money is the benefit of Paradise Island's cooperation with us. And I can't redeem you. If you can't afford to lose, you can spend money as free anyway." "Is it really free?" Huaxian looked at what he shouldn't have looked at, and his hands were already getting restless. "Really? As long as we are willing, you can do whatever you want. And I'll be welcome." Chapter 555, Self-Destructs? Huaxian still couldn't help it and took a step forward. Swan Mare Yuo was very excited that her conspiracy had succeeded, and she cooperated with Huaxian crazily. After nearly an hour, Huaxian stopped. He handed the ID card and the demon card to Swan Mare Yuo and said, "Please help me top up to 0.8 trillion demon crystals." Swan Mare Yuo was stunned, frowned and asked, "What do you mean?" "I thought to myself, how can you be distracted when I am doing something for you? Is my charm not as good as those beauties who are not on the list? Wu Xian continued. Just top up when I ask you to. Why are you asking so many questions? No recharge. Oh my god, you can't play like this. Wu Xian said anxiously as he looked at the 1-minute task countdown. I won't top up if you want me to top up for you, that's fine. Just satisfy me first and then I'll talk. You, recharge my account quickly, or someone will die. TSK, if you can't satisfy me today, someone will die. I've given you my perfect virginity. And you're still distracted. Are you still a man? Hi, sister, please help me top up my account quickly, or I'll die. No recharge means no recharge. He threw the devil card and identity card heavily at Wu Xian. Ding, the consumption task countdown lasts 10 seconds. 10.98.1. The consumption task countdown ends, the consumption task fails. And the host is killed. Boom. Wu Xian's body exploded and turned into a blood mist, which covered the beautiful swan. Swan Mayor Yuo was stunned with shock. It took me a long time to recover. Wu Xian's last words echoed in my mind. Sister, please help me top up my account quickly, or I'll die. I thought Wu Xian's anxiety was all pretended, but I didn't expect him to really explode. If it weren't for the blood stains all over my body from Wu Xian's explosion, and the blood stains all around me, I wouldn't have believed that this was real. Really dead? How so? Ding, it is detected that the host has 2 chances to revive. Do you want to revive? Wu Xian's wandering consciousness was extremely depressed. Do I even need to ask this? Of course it's resurrection. Ding, do you want to revive on the spot? The resurrection range appeared in my consciousness. Wu Xian was shocked. It turns out that the entire Red Moon Star, and the entire continent are used as resurrection points. It can also change your appearance after resurrection, which is very humane. There was nothing like this when I was resurrected before. I guess it's a change after the system upgrade. Resurrection is outside the city. In the yard. Swan Mayor Yuo put on her clothes and opened the gate of the yard. A group of people rushed in. Look around. There was no sign of Wu Xian either. But they found a large area of blood. What is this? Asked the colorful spiral in surprise. Everyone else's eyes also fell on Swan Mayor Yuo. Swan Mayor Yuo said bitterly, I don't know what happened. Wu Xian was being intimate with me, but he suddenly interrupted and asked me to help him recharge his demon crystal points. He also said that if I didn't recharge, he would die. I didn't believe that and refused to help him top up. I knew that after a while, this thing would explode and disappear. Swan beauty, if truth be told. Everyone's faces turned gloomy. Shui Lingwu said angrily, Swan Mayor Yuo, how could you make up such a story? He blew himself up if he didn't recharge the demon crystal points. Is he crazy or are you crazy? I think you want to take Wu Xian for yourself. So you hid him away, hand him over quickly. Swan Mayor Yuo knew that the explanation was not clear. With a wave of his hand, the independent surveillance in the yard was turned on. There were no men at the scene, so she was not afraid. When everyone saw the scenes in the video, they all felt extremely shy and secretly cursed Swan Mayor Yuo in their hearts. Fast forwarding, she soon saw Wu Xian handing her the devil card ID card so that she could top up the card. Looking back, there was a loud bang and Wu Xian really exploded. They were so scared that they stepped back. I couldn't believe what I saw with my own eyes. It's fake, it must be fake, Shui Lingwu said loudly. Yes, it must be fake, said the colorful spiral. Swan Mayor Yuo said in a deep voice. Do I need to use my own body to joke with you? Wu Xian really blew himself up? The mood is also very bad. Outside the city. Wu Xian was waiting in a deserted place. It turned out that Fuxing was outside the city, so he informed GEFE and the others. Of course, only GEFEI and the others were worried that the news of their resurrection would leak out. Because resurrection did not make the weak time of their cultivation realm disappear. Not long. GFEI, King Tingyu Ya and the others came over. Hubby, weren't you on Paradise Island? I heard that you killed a super strong man with one sword. How come you are here? The others also looked at him with curiosity. Wu Xian smiled bitterly and said, this is a long story. Let's go to Death Island quickly. The evil spirit Yizu asked. Husband, what's wrong with you? There was no choice but Wu Xian to tell everyone what had happened. These are the women I chose myself, and I trust them very much. Of course, all the beauties from Paradise Island are not here. Not even Black Butterfly. There are only GFEI, Dragonfly Crescent and her team of 12 people. Earth Dragon Lian, Rodent Tiger Xin, Achu Oyeyn, Ziyuan Yuan, Li Ying, Wood Dragon Yuelan, Peacockya, Maid Junar, Feng Po, Evil Spirit Yizu, Evil Monster Yao Yi, White-Haired Witch and 25 people in total. After listening to Wu Xian's explanation, everyone understood. The evil spirit Yizu quickly contacted the spaceship from Border City to escort the prisoners to Death Island. After confirming, he led the way to an uninhabited area on the edge of the Death Sea and waited. About 40 minutes. A super advanced spacecraft brought. Master Ziyuan, please get on the spaceship immediately, the captain shouted. Huaxian rushed forward directly. Everyone hurry up and follow. On board the spaceship. Looking around, the deck was full of prisoners walking and chatting. There are also a few who are not criminals. Huaxian looked quite puzzled. The evil spirit Yizu took his arm and explained. Hubby, those prisoners were sent to Death Island as punishment. They all have special gene imprisonment devices on them. Those who are obviously not criminals are those who are brave enough or whose lives have reached their limits and who go to Death Island to fight for a chance to survive. There are also those who have reached the limit of their cultivation and are looking for opportunities to make a breakthrough. Ziyuan still said, maybe there are people like me who bet on going to Death Island to broadcast live. Seeing someone boarding the spaceship, these people looked over curiously. He just took a quick look and wasn't surprised at all. Just go about your own business. The person in charge of the spaceship said to them. Sir, once the spaceship leaves by Anji City and enters the Sea of Death, it will no longer be under the control of the evil clan. Your identity will no longer be effective on the spaceship. Please pay attention to this. Although it sounded strange, it was a kind reminder after all, so the evil spirit Yizu nodded. A creature with a leopard head nearby heard this and said loudly, Everyone, look, there are high-ranking members of the Ziyuan tribe among them. Immediately, countless unfriendly eyes looked over. Especially those criminals, almost all of whom were sentenced by the evil clan, and they are even more hostile. Chapter 556, The Power of the Super Rich. Huaxian looked at the person in charge of the spacecraft and said coldly, Why do I feel like you did this on purpose? The person in charge of the spaceship smiled coldly and walked away without saying anything. I thought to myself, I'm already on the spaceship to Death Island. I did it on purpose, what can you do to me? A group of people gathered around. There are criminals, and there are others. In short, they are all very bad. Everyone suddenly became nervous. Because these people's cultivation is not weak. Huaxian frowned. Among these people, the worst were at the 60th level of True God. And the strongest was probably no less than the 5th level of Super God. The most powerful among them is the evil monster Yao Yi, who is a Super God at level 3, but he is no match for the other side. Therefore, if a fight really breaks out, we will definitely be the ones who suffer. Although the genes of those criminals were restricted, there were still many other strong ones. DFEI and the others subconsciously looked at Huaxian. Huaxian smiled and looked at these guys and asked, Everyone, what do you mean? What do you mean? The evil clan is bullying others by taking advantage of their power. Now that the spaceship has entered the Sea of Death, it is no longer the territory of the evil clan, so. The other short man smiled heavily and said, So, we will take good care of these women from the evil clan. Huaxian frowned immediately when he realized that his woman was being thought of. He said in a deep voice, You are also moved by my woman. I am afraid you are tired of living. Your woman. They exclaimed and were stunned for a moment. Then they all laughed distaphanially. A person with cow-like features said, Human, you are probably still asleep, Don. You know what kind of person you are. How dare you say that these women are your women? Get out of here, or I'll be the first to kill you. Huaxian sneered and said, Do you think you can defeat us? A man with scorpion-like features said distaphanially. It's not that I think so. If it were us, we would have defeated you. I'll count to 3 if you don't get out of here. I'll beat you to a pulp and make you watch us enjoy these women. Huaxian nodded coldly and said, Okay, very good, I will let you understand what the power of the super rich is. Super rich power, what the hell? The group of people were confused. Huaxian shouted to the people who were watching the show from a distance, Whoever helps me deal with them will get 100 million demon crystals per person. The demon crystal is a necessity for cultivation, so there is nothing more to it for practitioners. Naturally I won't dislike it. Immediately, countless people looked over. A burly man asked in a hoarse voice, Boy, are you telling the truth? This is a burly man who is at the 88th level of True God. His body is covered with scars and he looks like a tough guy. Huaxian nodded and said, You can come over now and pay the bill first. The strong man was very excited. But with his level of cultivation, naturally no one would dare to come here alone. He shouted to the curious people around him. Brothers, 100 million demon crystals can be earned so easily. Why are you unwilling? That's right, there are so many of us. If that guy doesn't give us 100 million demon crystals, we will come and take care of him, said one person. These people were extremely excited to get 100 million demon crystals for free. They came in an instant. The guys who were about to deal with Huaxian surrounded him. The leading few people pushed those people aside and walked in front of Hu Xian and the others. I took a look at GFEI and the others and thought these girls were really good. Then one of them said to Hu Xian, "Transfer the money." Hu Xian looked at the guy in front of him and said, "No rush." "What? You mean you won't transfer the money?" A murderous intent burst out. Hu Xian smiled and said, "No, I think you are at least a super god level 7 expert. 100 million demon crystals are too little. Hey, you have something, you are not very skilled, but you can see through my skills. You are good. 100 million demon crystals are a little too little. How much do you plan to give?" Hu Xian said, "We are on the way here anyway. How about this, I will give you 10 billion demon crystals. And you can be our bodyguard for a while? 10 billion. Are you sure you're not lying to me?" This guy was a little bit unbelievable. Hu Xian said seriously, "Look at my current situation. How dare I lie to you? Just tell me whether you will accept this mission or not. If you do, I will transfer 5 billion to you immediately. I will transfer another 5 billion to you when we reach the destination." "Okay, I'll take it. Let us transfer the money." He excitedly took out all the golden evil cards. Hu Xian was also straightforward. He took out the Black Devil card and transferred the money. "Black Devil card?" everyone exclaimed. I finally believed that Hu Xian was not joking. Anyone who possesses the Black Devil card is definitely not a simple person. The guy Su received a transfer of 5 billion. He was ecstatic and said to the others, "Brothers, I received a transfer of 5 billion. Young man, where is my old man? How much do you think I'll give you?" An old man with gray hair and a frail appearance, who looked like he was at the end of his life, asked. Hu Xian smiled and said, "Old man, you are at the 6th level of Super God. How about 9 billion? If that's okay, I'll pay you for 0.5 billion demon crystals first." "Okay, transfer the money." The old man agreed readily. "Friend, what about me?" asked a middle-aged lady. "Auntie, you are also at the 6th level of Super God, and your treatment is the same as this old lady's. How is it?" "Good." Next, countless people approached Hu Xian. Hu Xian transferred them according to their abilities and made them bodyguards. The worst one also got 200 million, so naturally they were all very happy. In the end, it cost 1.38 trillion, and more than 150 people became bodyguards. Apart from the criminals, the only people at the scene who surrounded Hu Xian were a few people who were not Hu Xian's bodyguards. At this moment, surrounded by Hu Xian's bodyguards, they were all sweating coldly. Hu Xian sneered at these guys and said inferently, "You were so arrogant just now, you wanted to bully my woman?" The strongest one said with a stiff upper lip, "Boy, don't be so arrogant. External forces are not always effective. I'll see what you can do when we get to the Island of Death." The deal for these bodyguards is to go to the Island of Death. Once there, they all have to adapt to the new environment. So it is naturally impossible for them to accept the task of protecting Hu Xian and others. Hu Xian laughed proudly and said, "It seems that you still don't understand the power of the super rich." After saying that, he looked at the bodyguards and said, "I'll pay 50 billion demon crystals for this guy's head. Whoever gets his head will be transferred to me immediately." "What, 50 billion? No one doubted Hu Xian's financial resources. After all, he had just spent more than 100 billion. All the powerful people looked at this guy with fiery eyes. Facing these people's burning gazes, the guy was scared to death and shouted angrily, "What are you going to do? This is a military spaceship. If you dare to mess around, you will pay the price." Chapter 557. Blackguard. Tew. Before he could finish his words, an arrow pierced his head. Then a gust of wind came. A figure flashed by. Tew. There was another noise and blood splattered. The guy was cut in half by the incoming figure. A powerful super god gene power made this guy split his body. Pointing at the guy who attacked with both hands at the same time, and staring at him with disbelief with his eyes. His lips kept moving, trying to speak, but they were split in half and he couldn't utter a word. Phew. The guy chopped him down at an angle again, knocking him to the ground. The people around were all dumbfounded and shocked by this scene. Looking at the way this guy was dressed, I felt even more terrified. The blackguards of the Ziyuan clan. Although the number on his identity card is just Black 99 of the Black Knight theme, the 3 words blackguards are enough to intimidate countless creatures. What was even more unexpected was that the black-clad guards of the Ziyuan clan would take action. After dealing with that guy, Jiu looked at Hu Xian with a cold expression and threw a devil card at him. Everyone's eyes were on Hu Xian, as if to see whether he was happy or not. Hu Xian took the demon card and without further ado, directly transferred 50 billion demon crystals. And he looked at the other side's second strongman and said, "This guy is a super god level 2, is there anyone with 30 billion? Phew." Jiu attacked without hesitation, as fast as lightning. and killed him directly. Crush with absolute strength. All the other people who had targeted Huaxian before were terrified to the extreme. Everyone was trembling with fear. They realized that this human would not forgive them. The ones who took action were the black-clad guards. And they had nowhere to ask for help. They were originally hitchhiking. And when they saw a group of beautiful women, they suddenly had evil intentions. But they didn't expect the other party to be so rich and powerful. Huaxian smiled and said, "Speak directly, there are 36 people here. Strong and weak, pack them all up, and I will give you another price of 782 billion. Before Huaxian could finish his words, Ijuju took action. There was no need to worry that Huaxian would cheat and not pay. After all, on this spaceship, anyone who dared not to give the demon crystal would be seeking death. Please spare my life, spare my life. I am willing to trade the demon crystal for my life." Someone shouted for mercy. Ijuju's fatal sword hovered less than 5 inches away from his head. He stared at the other person coldly and asked, "How much can you give?" 100 billion. Ijuju frowned. 200 billion and my own life. I will transfer the money to you immediately. The man quickly changed his words. 200 billion is not a small amount of money. After all, these are demon crystals, not demon coins. Ijuju looked at Huaxian, thinking about negotiating to spare his life. Huaxian said directly, "I'll add another 500 billion and kill him." Pew. Ijuju is extremely straightforward. Huaxian continued, "I'm giving you 500 billion, 1782 billion demon crystals, kill them quickly. I'd pay 1 trillion to keep myself alive. I'll pay 1 trillion to buy my own life. They have all lived for a long time. Their strength is not that great, and they all have a lot of savings." Suddenly, Ijuju looked at Huaxian. Huaxian smiled slightly and said, "Very rich, then I will be serious and kill all of them with 100 trillion. Everyone took a deep breath. Are you crazy? Are you so crazy just to kill a few people? Damn it. This lowly human race wants us to die. Let us fight them. We will unite to produce the demon crystal. I don't believe we can't defeat them." An old man said angrily. The rest of the people also shared the same hatred and said, "Okay. If he offers 10 trillion, then we offer 20 trillion. Everyone risked their lives to survive. Huaxian smiled coldly. "That's it? And I'll be 100 trillion. We are 11 trillion. Of course the other party would not give in, nor did they dare to give in. As it was a matter of life and death. Ijuju was extremely happy. No matter what, he was the one who would benefit. He clasped his hands together and waited for them to bid. Huaxian said distaffanially, "It's too unconscious to hold it with 1,000,000 trillion. I'll offer 1,000,000 trillion. The whole audience was stunned and one could hear a pin drop. "You impossible. You definitely can't come up with 1 trillion demon crystals. That's right, you definitely can't take it out." Ijuju also looked at Huaxian with suspicion. With a smile on his face, Huaxian took out the 400-star identity card of the Paradise Island consumer god and hung it on his chest. "Oh my god, the god of consumption of Paradise Island is 400 stars. So scary." After one person saw it clearly, he exclaimed. Only then did everyone understand that this human race was truly extraordinary. Those who had provoked Huaxian were now pale as death. And they had thoroughly experienced the horror of the power of the super-rich. Ding dong. The guy who looked like a young man knelt heavily in front of Huaxian and said, "Sir, spare my life. I beg you to forgive me this time. I kowtow to you." Knock, knock, knock. He kowtowed loudly and continuously. And after a few kowtows his forehead was broken and blood was flowing out. Ding dong. Ding dong. All of a sudden, these people knelt down and begged for mercy from Huaxian. However, Huaxian has not yet expressed his position. Foam. Ijuju exploded with all his strength, and his terrifying aura enveloped these people. He was instantly severely injured, bleeding from all 7 orifices, and was on the verge of death. Ijuju, take action directly. In just a few seconds, he managed to deal with these people. In his eyes, these people are all demon crystals. Then he looked at Huaxian. Because his card was still in Huaxian's hands, Huaxian kept his promise and transferred him 100 trillion demon crystals. After receiving this huge sum of money, Ijuju was also extremely excited. "I never thought that earning demon crystals would be so easy. This is like pie falling from the sky." After getting the devil card back, Ijuju prepared to leave. Huaxian shouted, "Want to make some extra money?" Ijuju turned around, looked at Huaxian and asked, "What extra money?" Huaxian smiled and said, "I'll give you about 790 trillion demon crystals, and then you'll be responsible for the safety of me and my wives. How about that?" The whole audience was stunned. 79 trillion. Even if this guy is consuming the god, isn't the demon crystal too terrifying? How can this be called a super rich person? This is already a demon rich person. How can this guy, a human being, be so rich? Chijiu asked in disbelief. Are you serious? Huaxian shook the Black Devil card and said, I'll transfer it to you now. Before he could finish his words, a crisp voice interrupted. Give me 790 trillion Eman coins, and I will be responsible for your safety all the way to Death Island. A tall young man walked over, playing with a sharp dagger in his hand. The dagger exudes a strange aura, giving people a very unusual feeling, which also shows that this guy is not simple. Huaxian could tell at a glance that the other person was a woman disguised as a man. He smiled and said, It's not impossible. Chapter 558. Grievance. Sir, isn't it too much to steal the business of my blackguards? Chijiu asked coldly. The tomboy smiled coldly and her figure faded instantly. Boom! With a loud bang, Chijiu was kicked out. The tomboy stood where Chijiu was before. Everyone trembled. They didn't expect that this was a ruthless and taciturn person. Court death. Chijiu somersaulted up and rushed towards the tomboy with a knife. Along the way, the momentum continued to rise, and an oppressive atmosphere caused countless people to retreat in fear. Approached the tomboy and cut her down with a heavy blow. Bang! It was obvious that the tomboy was stronger than him. She had more speed than him and was the first to arrive. She kicked him out with another kick. Roar! A beast roar. A large fish with strange scales rushed out of the water of the Sea of Death, biting like Black 99. Chijiu's expression changed drastically. He burst out with all his strength and slashed down with the sword regardless of everything. Boom! A terrifying sword energy attacked the big fish. A strange force burst out from the big fish, which actually bounced back all the attacks. Boom! Chijiu was hit by his own attack. Q. He spit out a mouthful of blood and his face turned pale instantly. Fortunately, this attack also pushed him away. He endured the injuries and returned to the deck with difficulty. Boom! The strange fish hit the spaceship hard. The defense shield on the spacecraft was shining brightly and was very powerful. The strange fish fell towards the sea surface. Everyone subconsciously rushed to the edge of the spaceship and looked towards the seashore. From a height of several dozen feet, the strange fish fell heavily into the seawater. Someone asked in confusion, why isn't the spaceship flying in Cloud City? Someone obviously knew what it would take to go to the island of the dead, and said in a deep voice, the clouds appear calm, but in fact there are thunderclouds rolling in. If the spacecraft dares to fly in, it will be reduced to ashes in a matter of minutes. Hearing this, everyone trembled. Look, a lot of those strange fish are emerging from the water. Someone exclaimed. Everyone, please read on. There are so many strange fish. Probably no less than tens of thousands of them. The key point is that these strange fish are very powerful. And even Chijiu was hit by the sneak attack. The tomboy ignored all this and looked at Huaxian, throwing a Black Devil card over. Huaxian did not rush to transfer the money, but smiled and said, Young man, how about discussing it again? Oh, what to discuss? The tomboy asked curiously. Huaxian said, It's very dangerous to go to Death Island. I'm sure the island is also dangerous. I'll give you 200 trillion Eman crystals. How about you be our bodyguard when we get to the island? 3 days, 200 trillion Eman crystals. Once we get to the island, I will only protect you for 3 days. The tomboy said firmly. I thought Huaxian would refuse. Huaxian said cheerfully, Okay, 3 days is 3 days. Transfer money instantly. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 0.8 trillion Eman crystals within 60 minutes and obtained 3 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding, new mission. Complete a critical hit of 5 times, 140 trillion Eman crystals within 80 minutes. And the host will be killed if the mission fails. Complete the mission to obtain 3 lottery opportunity fragments. After receiving the Skyge transfer, the tomboy was extremely shocked. She looked at Huaxian in disbelief, thinking that this guy was really a rich man. Maybe we can be friends. At this time, Ziyuan still said to Huaxian, Abi, we are already far away from the mainland. Should I start the live broadcast? Huaxian nodded and said, Then let's broadcast it live. Thank you, husband. Ziyuan still took out the live broadcast equipment and started a live broadcast to the entire network. Everyone, take a look. Ziyuan, have fulfilled my promise and am going to the island of the dead to broadcast live. I am now on my way to the island of the dead. By the way, let me introduce you all. This is my husband. He's handsome. Back in Anji City, upon learning that Huaxian was in trouble, countless beautiful women gathered in Swan Yuo's yard. Feeling extremely sad, Someone said, since my husband blew himself up here, let's build a tombstone for him here. Some people also said, he's dead, his body is gone, and we haven't slept with him. So he is not our husband, right? I always have a feeling that our husband won't die so easily. Everyone's eyes fell on Swanmaer Yuo. As a person who had experienced it, Yeonchanmaer Yuo said with certainty, I swear, this guy blew himself up just because I didn't recharge him. Look. Some people are still distracted by watching the live broadcast at this time. I happened to see Ziyu on Yuron's live broadcast. I saw Huaxian inside. He exclaimed and turned on the video projection. Everyone immediately saw Huaxian inside. Isn't that my husband? Everyone exclaimed. Swanmaer Yuo stared at Huaxian, stunned with shock. She knew very well that the guy blew himself up in her arms. But how come he was okay now? After a while, she asked in disbelief. Is it possible that it wasn't Huaxian, but his brother? Heidi suddenly said, it's my husband, the anchor is his wife Siyuan Yuron, and GFE, and the others are all here. Damn it, I said my husband was in trouble. Why weren't they here? I didn't expect they ran away with my husband. What makes me angry is that aren't we his wives? He didn't even abandon us. How cruel, men are really no good. They abandon us so quickly. The swan is beautiful but has a frown on her face. From what happened before, she was 100% sure that Huaxian had self-destructed. It's so real, it can't possibly be fake. But now, he was indeed standing beside Ziyuan Yuron intact. Connect Ziyuan and ask for clarification. Someone reacted and shouted loudly. Someone immediately connected with the evil grudge. Soon after the show started, someone connected. Ziyuan still did not refuse and connected the call. Os Yuron, what's your husband's name? Ziyuan was still stunned. Huaxian, who was standing by, thought the voice was familiar and looked over curiously. Wasn't it one of the wives he had conquered on Paradise Island? My husband's name is Huaxian, what's wrong? It's really him? Husband, why did you abandon us? A group of beautiful women gathered together. Black Butterfly dodged the communicator and angrily asked Huaxian. Husband, I don't care if you abandon others, but why did you abandon me too? I almost cried as I said this. Huaxian said seriously. I didn't abandon you, it was mainly because Swanmaer Yuo killed me. If I hadn't used the secret method to refine a clone before, and I used the secret method to revive through the clone, you would never see me again. All the beauties looked at Swanmaer Yuo with hatred. Shui Lingwu, who was also a beauty on the god list, questioned angrily. Swanmaer Yuo didn't expect you to be so vicious. Yes, she is so vicious, I never thought she was this kind of person. Swanmaer Yuo felt extremely aggrieved and shouted angrily at Huaxian in the video. I just refused to help you top up your account, how did I kill you? Chapter 559, Critical Situation. Huaxian smiled coldly. The existence behind me has given me the task of spending the demon crystals within the specified time. If I fail to spend them within the specified time, I will be wiped out. I asked you to top up my account, but you refused twice, which prevented me from completing the task within the specified time. So I was eliminated. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. After a while, someone suddenly realized, I was wondering how a human like you could have so many devil crystals. Now it seems that you are just a toy of the demons. They asked you to spend demon crystals within a specified time. If you fail to complete it, they will kill you. So that's how it is. I finally understand where the human race, which is the most oppressed, got so many demon crystals. It turns out that they are just toys of the demons. But, how could I want to be a toy like this that gives me endless demon crystals to spend? Yes, I want to be one too. Many people began to envy Huaxian. Huaxian looked at Swanmaer Yuo and asked, now you understand that it was you who killed me, right? Swanmaer Yuo recalled her interactions with Huaxian. He was indeed very determined to ask her to help top up her spending. But she refused, and then he exploded. It seems that this is really possible. His face looked a little pale. Black Butterfly asked, husband, even if that's the case, if you want to leave, why don't you take us with you? Yes, husband, why don't you take us with you? Huaxian explained, first of all, I'm worried that Swanmaer Yuo will find out that I'm not dead and continue to cause trouble for me. After all, she is the most beautiful woman on the god list and has a special status. Secondly, Death Island is too dangerous. I don't want to take you on this adventure. Just wait for me in Border City, I will come back to find you. In addition, my wife will still live broadcast from time to time. And you can also see our dynamics through the live broadcast. Boom boom boom. Huaxian didn't finish his words. The spacecraft shook violently. Everyone watching the live broadcast was stunned. Just because they saw countless strange fish, they attacked the spaceship. Is it really the Sea of Death? I know that kind of strange fish, it can only be found in the Sea of Death. I didn't expect the anchor to actually go out to the sea to the island of death. People who had originally doubted the authenticity of the leak broadcast suddenly exclaimed. Tens of thousands of powerful strange fish took turns bombarding the spacecraft. The spacecraft's defense shield began to shake violently. And the situation became increasingly critical. It's bad. The shield is running low on energy. We need a lot of demon crystals. Anyone who has demon crystals, please don't be reluctant to give them up. If the spaceship is breached, everyone will be in danger. Speaking of the demon crystal, countless people's eyes fell on Huaxian. Someone said, what's the point of looking at him? His demon crystals are all in the card. We need the spot goods. If everyone takes out the spot goods on them, we can rush out of this strange fish sea. I have 50,000 in stock. I have 150,000. Those who have spot goods are quite generous. After all, tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of demon crystals are just small money to them. Not enough, far from enough. Click. A huge crack was created on the defense on the right side of the spacecraft. Fortunately, I recovered quickly. It's over. The energy is not enough and it will be breached soon. I never expected that this time the strange fish would attack so fiercely. Yes, it is stronger than ever before. Huaxian said at this time. I do have a lot of demon crystals, but many people have a grudge against me. If I use them to save them, wouldn't that mean I'm saving my enemies? It's already this time, and you're still so selfish? Someone immediately scolded. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, ask them how many demon crystals you need to consume. The guy observed the frequency of the monster fish attacks around him and quickly estimated. At least 100 trillion demon crystals. They must be spot goods. Everyone around took a deep breath. There are hundreds of trillions of stocks in stock. Who would carry so many demon crystals in stock on their body? Huaxian said, I have so much stock. What? Everyone was shocked. Click. Click. Facts had already appeared in many places in the defense. Fortunately, after the demon crystal was added, the energy quickly repaired the cracks. But things are getting worse. Someone urged, then what are you standing there for? Take it out quickly. Huaxian said, that's 100 million demon crystals. If it were you, would you be willing to use it to save people? Of course I am willing to do so. After all, my own life is on this spaceship. I thought to myself, I don't have it anyway, so why should I be reluctant to give it up? Huaxian smiled and said, if that's the case, then you transfer all the demon crystals you have to me. And give me all the things you had before. I'll suffer a little loss. And I'll take out 100 million demon crystals to save people. All eyes were on this guy. But this guy hesitated. Someone urged, what are you standing there for? They are willing to give away hundreds of millions of demon crystals. How many do you have? Yes, hurry up and give them all the valuables you have. Many people urged. This guy exploded, you tell me. Why don't you give him all the magic crystals you have? Why don't you give him all the valuable things? In response, Huaxian smiled coldly. The people on the spaceship urged. Don't waste any more time. The spaceship's defense shield can only last for 3 minutes at most. Everyone was extremely worried as they watched the spaceship's defense shield develop more and more cracks and repair itself more and more slowly. I'll give you 1 million demon crystals, said an old man. I'll give you 800,000 demon crystals. Huaxian accepted them all without hesitation. This kind of demon crystal that is not required for a mission can be used for small rewards, which is convenient. Many people started crowdfunding. Not long after, Huaxian actually received hundreds of billions of demon crystals. And he nodded and said, although everyone's crowdfunding is not much, except for a few guys, I also see that everyone is sincere. I will give you these 100 trillion demon crystals. System. Withdraw 100 million demon crystals. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the withdrawal was successful. Huaxian threw a nanospace device to the spaceship reader and said, I want to buy the ring you are wearing. The guy trembled. Then he said bitterly, although this is just an ordinary ring, it is the only thought my mother passed on to me. Look. Huaxian smiled and said, everyone has made contributions to survive, but you can't bear to give up even one ring? That's right. It's just a ring, hurry up, the shield is about to be breached. Boom. The defensive shield in the southeast direction was hit by the strange fish and a huge hole was created. Some strange fish rushed into the spaceship ferociously. Chapter 560, Live Broadcast Exposed. Those who were responsible for filling the shield's energy were working desperately to do so. Oh no, there are no more demon crystals left, not even one. Some people who were filling energy shields in certain directions roared in fear. There is no demon crystal to replenish energy. Boom. In more places, gaps were created by the strange fish. The strange fish that broke into the spaceship was not affected by the deck at all. The 4 pairs of fins on its body were its legs and feet. It was extremely fast, and its sharp teeth and big mouth were its best tools. The situation was critical, and the person in charge of the spacecraft had no choice but to take off the ring and hand it to Huaxian. Huaxian smiled and threw the nanospace device containing 100 million Rillian Eman crystals over and grabbed the ring. But this guy was still reluctant to let go. "Hey, I tell you to quickly take the demon crystal and restore the spaceship's defenses. It's about to be breached," someone shouted. The entire spacecraft's defense was paralyzed. Those gaps, without energy maintenance, will not only be unable to be repaired, but the entire defense will even collapse. Once the entire defense collapses, the defensive formation will not be able to repair itself automatically. Seeing that the situation was extremely critical, the guy let go of his hand and shouted, "I will definitely get it back. Turn around and leave." Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the ancient seal ring. Open the seal and you may encounter an adventure. Huaxian was stunned. He was just looking for a suitable reason to spend those 100 trillion Eman crystals. I didn't expect that a ring that was so ordinary and worthless at first would have such a status. System, how do we break the seal? Ding! Find 1 drop of real dragon blood and 1 drop of real phoenix blood to break the seal. A seal can only be broken by real dragon blood and real phoenix blood. It seems that this ancient seal ring is not simple at all. It was a pleasant surprise. Soon, a large amount of demon crystals were injected into the formation's energy supply. The broken gaps in the defense shield healed visibly. It recovered to its original state in a short while, and even became even more powerful when it had enough energy. Quick, kill the strange fish that rushed in. Damn it. These strange fish are invulnerable to swords and guns. They are extremely difficult to kill. Countless people besieged the strange fish, but none of them could break through its defense. Damn it. Give us access to the gene binding bracelet. Many prisoners who were imprisoned by advanced gene confinement bracelets died tragically at the hands of the strange fish that rushed in. Countless criminals roared in despair, but no one paid any attention to them. In the eyes of many people, these criminals are extremely vicious and deserve to die. Roar! A strange fish, which was deliberately released into the water, rushed towards Huaxian and his friends. Ziyuan's live broadcast is still going on. Originally there were only tens of thousands of people, but at this moment, the live broadcast room exploded, with 200 million people watching online. Seeing the strange fish rushing towards them, the 200 million people in the live broadcast room became nervous. Dude! The tomboy took out the sword and killed the strange fish with 1 blow. Shocked the entire network. Everyone can see from the video how powerful the strange fish is. I didn't expect to be killed by this tomboy with 1 sword, and I was shocked by his strength. What happened on the spaceship flying to Death Island? Especially the Huan Huaxian, attracted the attention of the higher-ups. The main branch of the Ziyuan clan, a group of high-ranking officials were staring at Huaxian on the screen. The evil king on the main throne frowned and asked, "What is going on with this human race?" The people below looked at each other in confusion, and no one knew what was going on. After a while, a white-haired old man said, "Can it be that he is really a plaything of the demons as everyone speculates? Ridiculous! Even if the demons wanted to treat a human as a plaything, how could they give him endless demon coins to spend?" On the demon side, the top leaders also gathered. The demon king on the main throne asked in a deep voice, "What's going on with this human race?" Everyone at the scene looked at each other in confusion. No one knew what was going on. After all, the technological surveillance at the place where Huaxian went to the underworld was removed by him using advanced hacking techniques, so no one knows where Huaxian came from. Check. But Wang, this guy went to the island of Deathwee. So what if he went to the island of the dead? Send someone to investigate for me. I always feel that this guy is not simple. By the way, what's up with this guy's Black Devil card? Freeze it and also find out the source of the Devil Crystal for me. Yes. Someone is operating on site. Huaxian's Devil Card account was quickly found and his privileges were immediately frozen. Ding! Special Authority Black Devil Card. You don't have the authority to freeze. What the hell? The Devil Cards were all issued by the Devil Tribe. So how come they didn't know there was a special permission Black Devil Card? And they didn't even have permission to freeze it? Freeze it another way. Still doesn't work. This guy was shocked. Wang, prompt the Special Authority Black Devil Card. I have no right to freeze it? What the hell? Why can't it freeze? Wang questioned, opening his special communicator and logging into the highest authority account to freeze it himself. Ding! Special Authority Black Devil Card, you have no right to freeze it. What? The Demon King exclaimed and immediately tried to freeze other permission channels. Still the same, no right to freeze. How so? Open the virtual keyboard and the hacker on the scene will quickly process it. BD, the demonic authority system was hacked. but it directly triggered the defense alarm. I suddenly felt that the demon card authority system did not belong to my own demon clan, but to someone else. I don't have the authority to handle it. An old man said, Wang, please freeze my account and see if there is a system failure. A demon king tried quickly. The old man soon received news that his Black Devil card account had been frozen. Prove that there is no problem with the system. 8 countless other large tribes, including the Taishan tribe, the Zhaoyilong tribe, the Witch tribe, etc. were all discussing Hu Xian's affairs. After all, the human race on Red Moon Star was suppressed badly, but there were still some people who were doing well. Especially the endless supply of demon crystals, which was too much. Someone called the demon clan's top brass on the spot. Demon clan, what's the matter with the black demon card consumption amount of that human Hu Xian? The senior executive who answered the phone looked at the demon king. The demon king's lip language told him how to answer. After understanding it, the guy said, yes, this human race is our puppet. As for why this is happening, you can ask our king. After saying that, he hung up the phone. You can't possibly admit that there's something wrong with the demon clan's system, right? As the overlord of Red Moon Star, isn't this just slapping himself in the face? Afterwards, the Witch clan and the Taishan clan called to inquire. The answer is the same. Everyone was extremely confused and couldn't guess what the demons were going to do. On the spaceship, all the strange fish that broke into the spacecraft have been killed. The spacecraft handled the battlefield as quickly as possible, except for the deaths at the hands of the criminals in the squadron. The others were injured, but no one died. Countless criminals gathered and surrounded Hu Xian. The leader, who had lost half of his shoulder, asked murderously, Human, you clearly have demon crystals in stock, why didn't you take them out earlier? If the defense shield hadn't been breached, how could we have been injured? Chapter 561, Grasshopper on a Boat. Hu Xian smiled coldly and asked, You clearly know that you will be punished for committing a crime. So why do you still commit a crime? The man had a gloomy face and was unable to fight back. Another criminal roared, I was wrongly accused, I am the scapegoat. Hu Xian said to him inferently, Whether you are a scapegoat or not, what does it have to do with me? What does your life or death have to do with me? Am I doing charity? No, I just did charity. If I hadn't taken out 1,000,000,000,000,000 demon crystals, would you still have a chance to gather here? You could have taken it out earlier. Why didn't you? A young girl asked angrily. Half of the girl's head was bitten off, and her beating brain could be seen. Fortunately, there was no fatal injury. Where is my bodyguard? Hu Xian said lightly. The tomboy appeared beside Hu Xian at the first moment, scanning the entire audience with a cold look. These people were so frightened that their expressions changed drastically and they retreated one after another. Just because of this, 90 of the strange fish that rushed into the spacecraft were killed by her. Everyone knows how terrifyingly strong she is. The other bodyguards who had received Hu Xian's demon crystal also gathered around. Hu Xian looked at the criminals and said, Don't be so self-righteous. I do what I want and I do it according to my mood. If you make me angry, I will kill you now. At this time, 5 black guards arrived. A Chiiju was among them. 5 people arrived and directly surrounded the tomboy. A Chiiju said to the others, It was him who stole our business. The person with the number Black 98 said, Boy, do you know that this is a spaceship heading to Death Island? Do you know that this is our territory? The tomboy said coldly, I only know that fists have the final say. Okay. And we won't reason with you, let our fists have the final say. After Chiiju finished speaking angrily, he was about to take action. Hu Xian said calmly, Wait. What's the matter? Chiiju asked coldly. Hu Xian said, Isn't it just for a little demon crystal? How about this, the 5 of you will each have 100 trillion demon crystals, and you will be my bodyguards along the way? The people around were extremely shocked. I thought to myself, this guy really wields the demon crystal like a rock. Chiiju asked excitedly, Are you serious? Hu Xian said confidently, What I lack the most is the demon crystal. Okay. Transfer the money. Chiiju was the first to throw the devil card to Hu Xian. Hu Xian transferred the money directly. And he looked at the remaining 4 people. Seeing that they were still hesitating, Chiiju quickly said, For brothers, you must make a profit from these 100 trillion demon crystals that are delivered to your door. Hearing this, one of the 4 nodded and handed his devil card to Hu Xian. Hu Xian transferred the money immediately. After receiving the account, the guy was extremely excited. Really, 100 million trillion demon crystals have arrived. Hearing this, the other 2 also handed the devil card to Hu Xian. Chiiju was the only one still hesitating. All eyes were on him. Chiiju asked coldly, I want to know, as a human, Where did you get so many demon crystals? Wu Xian said calmly. Just keep it if I give it to you. Why are there so many? Why are you talking to me like this? His tone was filled with murderous intent. Wu Xian was not afraid and said coldly, then how do you think I'm going to talk to you? If you don't want to, then I tell you, I won't hire you now. The whole audience was shocked. I didn't expect Wu Xian to be so bold as to speak to the black-clad guards in this way. Achij, Wu sneered, this is on the spaceship to Death Island. You know how dangerous what you are doing now is? Wu Xian sneered, is it dangerous? Come on, let me experience the danger. I didn't expect Wu Xian to be so fearless of death. Achij, Wu's face became extremely ugly. The key is that there is no step to go down now. Clang! The sharp blade was unsheathed, pointing directly at Wu Xian with murderous intent. The tomboy stepped in front of Wu Xian. Achij, Wu shouted angrily. Get out of here. The tomboy frowned. Achij, Wu, forget it. Everyone. Achij, Wu still wanted to persuade. Achij, Wu scolded. Shut up and don't fall into the pile of demon crystals. Wu Xian sneered, I'll offer 100 trillion demon crystals. Whoever kills him will be transferred immediately. What? The whole audience was shocked. 10 trillion demon crystals. The way he looked at Wu Xian changed. What is a super rich man? This is a fucking peerless devil rich man. Crazy how? Achij was said disapprovingly, this is a spaceship of the Ziyuan clan's military. I am the only one on this spaceship who would. Feel. Before he could finish his words, his Diantian, which stored his genetic power, was suddenly pierced by Achij beside him. Achij felt the loss of genetic power, and turned to look at Achij in disbelief. J-Yu, why are you? 9-5, people die for money and birds die for food. Isn't the reason I became a blackguard just for the demon crystal? And I've been working for 100 years and still haven't turned a million demon crystals. Just now, this rich man from the human race transferred to me a sum of demon crystals that would take me hundreds of years to earn. Now your head is equivalent to the demon crystal that I can earn in tens of thousands of years. So don't blame me for being cruel. Phew. With one blow, he chopped off Achij head. Achij body is still exploding. However, his Diantian was force, his genetic power was lost, and his outburst had no threat at all. Achij, you will not have a good death. Achij head is still cursing Achij, Phew. Achij was really a ruthless guy. He cut Achij mouth with one knife. He walked up to Wu Xian with his head held high and said, give me 100 million demon crystals. Wu Xian smiled and nodded. And said readily, give me the card. After getting the card, I immediately transferred the money to Achij. Bing! Congratulations to the host, you have consumed 140 trillion demon crystals within 80 minutes and obtained 3 lottery fragments. Ding! New mission. Complete the critical hit 3 times and consume 420 trillion demon crystals within 80 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed after completing the mission. 3 lottery opportunity fragments will be obtained. Why is it only 900 trillion? Achij, asked in a deep voice. Wu Xian smiled and said, don't worry, I'll transfer another 100 million trillion to you. Continue transferring money. After receiving the bill, Achij, breathed a sigh of relief and said, do you still want the hen? Wu Xian bit the bullet and said, throw it into the sea to feed the fish. Achij was very straightforward and threw it out directly. After finishing everything, he looked at Achij, Yusan and the others and said, I will transfer 100 million crystals to each of you 3 in a while. Don't go back to Death Island this time. But our families. Achij was still very worried. Achij, interrupted. After something like this happened, do you think I'm the only one who was punished? If you watched me kill Achij without stopping me, you would be in the same boat with me. Chapter 562. A strong woman. The 3 of them looked unhappy, and they had no choice but to compromise. Wu Xian took this opportunity to say, since you 3 are not going back to the mainland, why don't you follow me and become my bodyguards? How about an annual salary of 500 million demon crystals? Really? I'm already at my wit's end, wouldn't me? It'd be great if I could still earn 500 trillion demon crystals a year. Transfer. Wu Xian took out the devil card and said. The 3 of them handed over their devil cards almost at the same time. Wu Xian transferred the money readily. After receiving the money, the 3 of them were extremely excited. Just as Achij, said, even if you have worked for the Ziyuan clan for hundreds of years, or even thousands of years, you still haven't turned that much. The tomboy was not happy and said to Wu Xian, It seems that my income is the lowest. Uxian smiled bitterly and said, "You are only responsible for my safety for 3 days on shore. But they have to wait for a year at least. As long as the demon crystal arrives, I can extend the deadline." "And how many demon crystals do you need in a year?" Uxian asked cautiously. "It looks like I don't have many demon crystals. At least 200 trillion demon crystals." "Okay, deal." Uxian agreed readily. The tomboy frowned and asked, "Am I asking for too little?" "It's not a small amount. Think about other jobs. Can you get a salary as high as mine?" The tomboy thought about it carefully and said, "It seems that there really isn't one." "No, transfer the money quickly." Uxian deliberately grabbed her hand and said. The tomboy was stunned for a moment, then she shook off Uxian's hand and said, "If you dare to touch me next time, I will chop off your hand." Uxian said with a wrong look on his face, "We are all men. What's wrong with touching hands? Is it okay that I don't like men?" The tomboy said angrily. Uxian said, "If you don't want to touch it, then don't touch it. Why are you so fierce?" "But I was thinking in my heart. It feels really good." The transfer of 20 million demon crystals was then completed. Everyone around him witnessed Uxian's arrogance. "I can't afford to offend you." Then I had some free time. The others had nothing to do. So they all followed Ziyuan's example and continued to broadcast live. I think it's quite interesting. Plus, they are all beautiful women from all ethnic groups. So the viewing traffic is quite good. I was bored and also live streaming. I thought that if it was just a human race, there wouldn't be many people watching. As a result, the number of viewers was no less than others. And the traffic was even greater. However, the audience is mainly human. In this world where humans are suppressed, more people choose to just eat and wait for death, and just watch live broadcasts and the like. There are very few human anchors, and they are mostly suppressed. DEFE's popularity is increasing. Suddenly a barrage of comments popped up, reminding her that she had violated the rules, so she was suspended from broadcasting. Puffy was stunned. "I was broadcasting the video just fine, I didn't say anything nonsense, and I wasn't wearing anything revealing, so how could it be considered a violation?" I realized immediately that I was being targeted. All major forces suppress the human race and cannot bear to see the human race do well in any aspect. But she was not convinced. Seeing that other non-human beings like Dragonfly and Crescent Moon were doing their live broadcasts just fine, he felt even more dissatisfied. "So I found Uxian who was sleeping and resting. Husband, I was live streaming and didn't violate any rules at all. Those forces suppressed me and said I violated the rules and suspended my live streaming." Uxian pulled GFEI into his arms, gave her a tight hug, and then a passionate kiss. After a few minutes, he asked, "Is there such a thing?" As he spoke, his hands had already begun to unbutton GFEI's clothes. "Hubby, I'm in a bad mood, can you please help me?" "Okay. But let's finish our work first. Roll over and attack forcefully." Nearly 80 minutes. Uxian took GFE's Dice Demon card and transferred 600 million demon crystals to him. "Dang, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 420 trillion demon crystals within 80 minutes and obtained 3 lottery opportunity fragments. Dang, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 100 minutes and consume 840 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, 3 lottery opportunity fragments will be obtained." When GFEI received the payment notification, she asked, in surprise, "Honey, why are you giving me so many demon crystals?" Uxian said with a smile, "How can I sleep with you for free?" After being shocked, she was very sad. "Husband, do you think I'm that kind of woman, and you don't want to marry me at all?" Uxian said with a smile, "What are you thinking? You've already told me to call you husband. So how can I dislike you? If you dare to have such nonsense, I'll punish you severely. Increased attack power. This is your punishment." "Hubby, I know I was wrong. Be gentle." Another 50 minutes passed and the battle was over. Uxian began to hack into the live streaming platform. With his level 50 hacking skills, he easily controlled the entire live broadcast platform. "Your wife, you can start the show now." "Really? Thank you, husband." DFEI excitedly put on his clothes and walked out of the room. Uxian prepared to go out for a walk. A strange figure walked in. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a woman. And she looked pretty good. "Is there something wrong?" Uxian asked curiously. The other party took off his clothes without saying a word. Uxian was stunned. "What's going on?" "What do you mean?" he asked in a deep voice. The other party still didn't say a word and had already taken off his pants. Uxian frowned. The other person had already taken off his shirt. Both hands were placed on the next 100 million. Seeing that the other party ignored him and took off his clothes like crazy, Huaxian thought he was a lunatic and walked towards the door. But he didn't expect the other party to suddenly explode and throw himself onto the bed holding him. Huaxian was stunned. What was he trying to do? To make himself stronger? How can this be? The strongest cultivation level bursts out subconsciously. But to no avail. Only then did he discover that this woman actually had super god level cultivation. However, his strongest evil no. 98 super god gene was still in a weak stage. And the cultivation of other attributes was not up to the super god level, so he was completely unable to resist. The woman pressed him down and bit him madly. Huaxian then realized that it was not enough to simply improve his evil level 98. And he had to improve another or even multiple levels of power. Next, he had no power to resist and was raped by this female thief. Nearing the 50th minute mark, Huaxian yelled, "Give me your devil card." The other party was stunned. But he still gave the demon card to Huaxian and then busy himself with his own battle. Huaxian directly transferred 840 trillion Eman crystals to her. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have consumed 840 trillion Eman crystals within 100 minutes and obtained 3 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding! New mission. Complete the critical hit 3 times and consumed 1,500,000,000 and 400 trillion Eman crystals within 100 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, 3 lottery opportunity fragments will be obtained. The woman who received the huge sum of money was stunned and couldn't recover for a long time. Chapter 563, Girl, please respect yourself. There was no choice but for Huaxian to take the initiative to fight. I thought to myself, since you've come to me, don't blame me for being rude. After a long time, the woman asked, why did you transfer so much money to me? Huaxian chuckled and said, I never do anything else. You? Before he could finish his words, Huaxian, who had taken the initiative, launched a strong attack. The battle ended after an hour. Huaxian hugged her and asked, why are you so proactive? For the demon crystal, but I didn't expect you to be so generous. Do you want to have it once, or do you want to have it forever? What's the difference? There's a big difference. What I'm possession is like the money I just transferred to you. To possess it forever is to be my woman. Isn't it enough to just tell me if you want to? The woman rolled her eyes. Do I need to make a choice? Of course I will keep you forever and give birth to a few little leopards for you. Little leopard? Are you from the leopard tribe? Yes. No wonder it's so barbaric. Otherwise, how can I teach the crazy leopard girl? Crazy leopard girl, I see? After a while of tenderness, the two walked out of the room. Hubby, who is she? A Chihuahuan happened to be live streaming nearby and came over to ask. Crazy leopard, my newest wife. Don't bother us if you're broadcasting live. A light broadcast room has exploded. Beautiful lady. Why are you still following such a playboy? Be my woman. That's right, beautiful lady, be my woman. I am very loyal. Rumble. The spacecraft suddenly shook violently. Huaxian walked quickly to the deck curiously. Looking over, I saw an extremely huge flying fish, which was bigger than the spaceship. Its huge body directly pressed on the spaceship's defense shield. Is that a manta ray? Click. The manta ray opened its mouth and bit the protective shield, breaking it in an instant. The energy of the protective shield continued to flow towards the gap to repair it. The manta ray's teeth had already embedded themselves in it, and it tore violently with all its might. Fuse. Directly tear a 100-meter long hole in the huge defensive shield. The person who loads the demon crystal is frantically loading the demon crystal, and the energy shield is quickly restored. At this time, black smoke came out of the manta ray's mouth and entered the spacecraft. Everyone be careful, the black smoke is poisonous. An old man shouted loudly. Everyone quickly activated their genetic power, held their breath, and defended themselves against the black smoke. Die! The tomboy looked at it for a while and finally took action, rushing towards the manta ray. Even if you can't get in from the outside, you can rush out from the inside. A fierce sword cut it like a manta ray. Huaxian shouted, you have to kill him 3 meters below his mouth to get a fatal blow. As a super chef, he is very familiar with the ingredients. The tomboy did not doubt Huaxian's words. Attacked towards the manta ray's weakness. The manta ray obviously understood human language. It glared at Huaxian fiercely, leapt up, and fell into the sea of death. The manta ray's realm was originally not as good as the tomboy's, and its weakness was known. The manta ray was not stupid, so it naturally ran for its life. The tomboy returned to Huaxian and asked curiously, how do you know the weakness of the manta ray? Huaxian smiled and said, because I used to be a chef and handled ingredients. I naturally know the weaknesses of the ingredients. A you at the side couldn't help but ask, does the chef have such skills? Huaxian said confidently, of course any profession can be invincible as long as it reaches a certain level. Just at this moment, Huaxian's communicator rang. I was curious about who would call me. I thought it would be some beautiful lady from Paradise Island. But it turned out to be an unfamiliar number. After some hesitation, he finally connected the call. The image of a middle-aged man came into everyone's sight, and the environment he was in was very sci-fi and grand. You are Huxian, and you are the one who hacked into our live streaming platform. The man next door asked straight to the point. Huxian also readily admitted. Yes, it was me. The other party said angrily. Do you know that you are committing a crime? Huxian sneered. Even if I committed a crime, what can you do to me? Can you still run away until death comes to catch me? You. I was so angry, but I didn't know how to fight back. He said angrily, I advise you to quickly remove the virus. Otherwise, Huxian interrupted, how else? Otherwise I will severely suppress you humans. Oh, is that so? Then I will transfer all the demon crystals in your account, including those in the parallel accounts related to you, and completely hack into the server of your live broadcast platform. While speaking, the virtual keyboard has been opened and the operation has begun. Before the other party could say anything harsh, he received the message. Open to view. It turned out that a demon crystal in the account was transferred away by a mysterious user. You. He watched Huxian getting so angry that he was about to die. But there was nothing he could do. What do you mean? Kneel down now and apologize, or I will start transferring money. Don't go too far. Do you really think that if you go to the island of the dead, no one will be able to punish you? Oh, so you still have a way to punish me? I'm looking forward to it. All the demon crystal deposits in your account have been transferred away. Such information echoed in the minds of middle-aged people. After a while, his wife No. One called and said, my husband. Something terrible has happened. All the money in my account has been transferred away in an instant. However, Mrs. No. 2. Madam number 3. The accounts of his son, daughter and other relatives were also transferred. Huxian smiled and said, I'm looking forward to you punishing me. Beep beep beep. Hang up the phone. The people around him looked at Huxian with fear in their eyes. Not only does he have amazing financial resources, but his hacking skills are also so amazing that he can transfer anyone's property he wants. Suddenly I understood how this guy possessed so many demon crystals. Could it be that he hacked into the demon clan's vault system? The more I think about it, the more I feel that this is the case. The tomboy asked, can you hack into any living creature's account? Huxian nodded and said, that's the theory. What's the problem? Then can you help me hack into an account? In theory? Yes, but this is a criminal act after all. The tomboy interrupted. Shut up, you just committed a crime in front of the entire network. Have I? Yuan still said, hubby, I broadcasted live. And the whole internet exploded. Me too, husband. The traffic just now surged by 300. I'll go. Huxian rolled his eyes wildly and said, if you keep doing this, don't blame me for hacking your live broadcast room. Just get off the live broadcast. Everyone stuck out their tongues and walked away. The tomboy pulled Huxian and ran. Follow me. Huxian hurriedly said. Men and women should not touch each other, young lady. Please respect yourself. The tomboy suddenly stopped and turned to look at Huxian. She asked in an extremely cold and even murderous manner. Have you figured out that I'm a woman dressed as a man? Chapter 564, Huxian being beaten. Huxian realized that he had let the cat out of the bag, and smiled brightly. I just found out. The tomboy stared at him intently, seeming to be hesitating about something. Then he asked coldly, so you deliberately touched my hand before and took advantage of me? No, absolutely. Playing. The sword was unsheathed and placed on Huxian's neck. Everyone around was shocked by this scene. The tomboy is the strongest on the entire spaceship, so everyone is worried. Huxian smiled bitterly and said, isn't it enough that I am responsible for you? You are dreaming. You are dreaming. The murderous intent became stronger and stronger. So what do you want? At least 50 million trillion demon crystals. Huxian smiled and said, transfer the money. A tomboy threw the devil card to Huxian with an unhappy look on her face. I thought to myself, this guy is so rich, I must exploit him hard. Huxian directly transferred 540 trillion demon crystals. What do you mean by 400 million? The tomboy asked dissatisfied. Lie? Do apologize, Huxian said weakly. You are sensible. Come with me. He followed the tomboy away amid everyone's stunned gaze. I thought, is it so easy to earn demon crystals? Just by touching your hand. You will receive 50 million demon crystals? Follow the tomboy to her residence. After closing the door, a tomboy took off the hood on her head. Her waist-length hair was flying and her peerless beauty caught Huxian's eyes, leaving him stunned. This beauty is no worse than the beauties on the god list of Paradise Island. The key point is, she is still wearing men's clothes. And she looks even better after dressing up. Have you seen it? Help me hack into this person's account. Handed a document to Huaxian. Emphasized, remember, you can't be discovered by the other party. Huaxian took the information, nodded, and started reading. The demon python has transformed into a dragon, the third eldest son of the demon python clan. A man of both literary and martial talents, with unparalleled talent. Huaxian said distaffanially, Hammer, you are a man of both literary and martial arts, with unparalleled talent, but you are nothing but trash in front of me. Stop talking nonsense and hack into him quickly. Huaxian started hacking into the other party through the other party's phone number. Soon a frown appeared on his face. Seeing this, the tomboy asked, Why are you frowning? The other party's communication number is specially encrypted, so it's difficult to hack into. Nonsense, the demonic python clan should have special protection. You can't be unable to do it, can you? He asked provocatively. Huaxian rolled his eyes and said, It's very dangerous for you to say that. The next moment, the image on Huaxian's communicator suddenly opened. What was shocking was that the other party was still recording the video. So the disgusting scene came into view. A handsome, burly muscular young man is having a passionate fight with a girl who is as beautiful as a tomboy. Boom! When the tomboy saw this scene, murderous intent suddenly burst out and the temperature around her dropped rapidly. Huaxian hacked into the room's network system as quickly as possible and determined the other party's location. A small video opened next to it, which showed what happened when the demon python transformed into a dragon and met this woman. The murderous story of the tomboy reached its peak, and she roared with murderous intent, Demon python dragon transformation. You hypocrite, I didn't believe what others said about how philandering you were, but I didn't expect you to be such a beast. I, the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly, will definitely kill you. Real Phoenix Flame Butterfly. Huaxian muttered and remembered it. The demon python transformed into a dragon and suddenly screamed. Then he rushed forward and completed the battle. The woman under him rolled her eyes in dissatisfaction and almost called him a waste. The demon python transformed into a dragon and looked at her breathlessly. She immediately put on a smile and said, Lanhua, you are so awesome. I love you so much. You've been overworked lately, and your body hasn't recovered yet. If it were in the past, you would have begged for mercy a long time ago. That's right. Brother Lanhua was really awesome in the past. By the way, Brother Lanhua, aren't you afraid that your overbearing Fianchy Zhenfang and I will know about us? So what if she knows? What era is this? Why can I only marry her after I transform into a demon python dragon? You still want to monopolize me alone? Dream on? How would she know that I have a lot of women out there? Crackling. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly in front of Huaxian clenched his fists in anger. Bang! He punched Huaxian directly. Huaxian was knocked out. Damn it, are you crazy? Your fiancé is cheating on you. Why are you hitting me? Huaxian roared angrily. Every good man among you has a bunch of women around you, right? Huaxian said speechless lie. Sister, you have to understand that the daughters around me are all willing to follow me. Just like you, if you don't want to follow me, I definitely won't force you. So why did you hit me? If you want to vent your anger, go and fight the demon python that has transformed into a dragon. By the way, there are tens of thousands of videos here for you to watch. Huaxian directly hacked into the videos recorded by Yaoming Lam and Lanhua fighting with different women. I'm also very curious as fine if this guy does this kind of thing. But why are you recording the video? Zhenfang and I watched a few videos. Boo! He was so angry that he smashed Huaxian's communicator. Fortunately, the quality of today's technological products is not bad. Huaxian walked over and picked it up to press lie. Then a lot of dark history about the demon python's transformation into a dragon was exposed. He said to Zhenfang and I, this may be useful to you. True Phoenix Flame Butterfly looked over while suppressing her anger. Then I was stunned. I never expected that the demon python Lanhua was so bold that he even dared to attack his own sister-in-law. The details in it are simply disgusting. The key is that there is more than one sister-in-law. Almost all the sisters-in-law have been involved. Hateful. Huaxian said, don't be angry. What do you think will happen if I send this video to his big brother? The demon python Long Fe? You have his eldest brother's communication? Huaxian chuckled and said, have you forgotten what I do? And why don't you hurry up? Huaxian immediately hacked into the communication of the demon python Long Fe. Immediately, a middle-aged man who looked somewhat like the demon python transformed into a dragon entered the image. This middle-aged man is reviewing documents in the office. A woman was massaging him. Huaxian immediately sent the video of the woman and the demon python transforming into a dragon. Ding, you have a new video message. The demon python Long Fe. I was looking at documents. So the woman picked up his communicator and turned on the video. When he saw the scene inside, his body trembled violently and he opened his mouth in shock. A demon python Long Fei asked without even raising his head. Madam, what is the video? The woman finally reacted and tried to delete the video with trembling hands. He replied, nothing, just some news videos. The voice was a little trembling. The demon python Long Fei frowned and raised his head. Seeing that the lady looked pale and panicked, he felt that something was wrong and asked in a deep voice, Madam, what is the video? Chapter 565, Then why do you want to help me? The woman looked extremely frightened. Just because I clicked the delete video button, a pop-up message appeared that could not be deleted. At this time, the sound was played. When the demon python Long Fei heard the voice, he stood up suddenly. The woman was so scared that she turned and ran away with the communication. Just want to get rid of the video. The demon python Long Fei had a gloomy look on his face. Realizing that something was wrong, he instantly appeared at the door and blocked the lady's way. He said murderously, give me the communicator. No, Long Fei, I can't give it to you, it's really nothing. Pop! The demon python Long Fei slapped him hard and knocked him to the ground. Roaring, do you think I'm a fool? He dodged the communicator and saw the video inside. Eyes red and about to burst. A terrifying murderous aura erupted. Boom, boom. Countless items in the office could not withstand the terrifying aura of the demon python Long Fei and turned into ashes. The window glass also shattered. The woman could not bear the pressure and was seriously injured and vomiting blood. She was in extreme despair. The demon python Long Fei grabbed her neck and brought her to him, angrily asking, why did you betray me? At this point, the woman knew she couldn't hide it any longer and shouted, can you blame me? It was your good brother who drugged me and made me sleep with him. And he filmed a video to threaten me, saying that I must be available whenever I need him. And if I don't obey, he will give you the video. You said he was your brother and you wouldn't do anything to him. But if I betrayed you, I would definitely die. At this time, an old woman arrived, looked at the chaotic scene, frowned and asked, Long Fei, what's going on? Mom, you watch it yourself. The old woman looked at the video communication in confusion. After seeing it clearly, his expression changed drastically. Then she took a deep breath, looked at the demon python Long Fei and the woman and said, Son, daughter-in-law, I will ask the demon python Long Hu to handle this matter. You must not spread it, otherwise. Ding, you have a new video. Ding, you have a new video. I remembered dozens of these reminder sounds in succession. The three of them gathered around and clicked on them one by one to watch. They were all obscene videos of the demon python turning into a dragon and the eldest and second sisters-in-law. In these videos, there are also scenes where the demon python transforms into a dragon and threatens them wildly. Boom! A demon python Long Fei could no longer suppress his murderous aura, and yelled at the old woman, Mom, this beast, no matter what I say, I can't forgive him. After saying that, he rushed out. The old woman cried out in pain, but he is your own brother. So what if he's my brother? He did such a beastly thing. Who can forgive him? I'll call my second brother. The demon python Long He, over here right now. I immediately called my second brother. Hey, brother, what do you want to talk to me about? Second brother, please come to my office quickly. Mom is here too. Good. Not long after, the demon python Long He arrived. Brother, Mom, what's going on? Look for yourself. Second brother. The result of the communication of the demon python Dragon River goes to watch the video. What? I must kill him. The demon python Long Fei said, don't worry. Second brother, play and look at the back, there are still many. The demon python Long He suppressed his anger and watched as his murderous intent grew stronger and stronger until it could no longer be suppressed. Mom, big brother, please don't try to persuade me, it's useless to say anything. I must kill this beast today. After saying this, he was about to leave with murderous intent. The old woman scolded, second brother, wait a minute. Mom, even after all this, do you still want to protect him? The demon python Long He asked angrily. Don't be so presumptuous. I will definitely treat you fairly, but have you ever thought that these videos may not be real? The demon python Long Fei said, Mom, Yao Nian has admitted it. Do you still want to favor the third brother? What? Big brother, you too? When the demon python Long He heard this, he quickly looked through other videos. Brother, this beast must not be allowed to stay. Absolutely not. It's rare for two brothers to be united. The old woman shouted angrily, all of you stop right there. Why was this video sent to you? Don't you understand? Someone is deliberately causing trouble. Mom, even if someone is deliberately causing trouble, so what? The facts are before us. Do you want us to call all your other daughters-in-law to confront them? On the spaceship, Hu Xian said to Zhen Fengyan, don't you want to give her a call? Zhen Fengyan did have the old woman's phone number. After all, she was her future mother-in-law. He dialed the number with a gloomy look. But it is just the voice and picture. It does not affect the call. The old woman, who was in a very bad mood, heard the communicator ringing and didn't want to answer it at all. Just hang up. The demon python Long Fei said, Mom, you should answer the call, maybe it's the person who sent the video. The old woman then turned on the communicator and saw the name on the caller ID. She asked in confusion, Zhen Fengyan, why is she calling at this time? Is it possible? Answer it quickly. Zhen Fengyan said angrily. Bei Peng Yilan, you already know all the good things your third son has done. Call them by their full names without showing any respect to elders. Bei Peng Yilan said angrily, did you get all these videos? Zhen Fengyan sneered and said, of course, there are many more videos. Your third son is really amazing, take a look at this video. A video was sent to Bei Peng Yilan's communicator. She realized something was wrong. Seeing that the demon python Long Fei and the others were about to gather around to watch, he shouted, what are you doing here? Go away. Mom. It's already this time, is there anything we can't know? Said the demon python Long He inferently. Bei Peng Yilan could only hold back his anger and open the video. After seeing the scene clearly, I was furious. Inside was a demon python transformed into a dragon. What made her angry was that the other person was actually her own sister. Rebellious son, go and catch him for me. I want to kill him with my own hands. Beep beep beep. Zhen Fengyan hung up the phone. The demon python Long Fei calmed down. Because the demon python would definitely die if it turned into a dragon. So there was no rush to do anything. He asked, Mom, should we tell Dad about this? Also, if the true phoenix flame butterfly knows so much, it will have a huge impact on our demonic python clan if it gets out. Then, hire someone to kill the true phoenix flame butterfly. Little did she know that these words were heard very clearly by Zhen Fengyan. I immediately collected evidence and sent the video evidence to my family so that they could be mentally prepared. Shut it down. I don't want to see the hypocritical members of the demonic python clan anymore. Zhen Fengyan said disheartenedly. Huaxian turned off the communicator and said to her, don't worry, I'm here, they can't hurt you. The true phoenix flame butterfly had a look of disdain on its face. Huaxian said, don't look down on me when I go to Death Island. I will have an endless supply of demon crystals. I can make countless strong men become my thugs. Then why are you helping me? Chapter 566, a little inflated. Because you are mine. You're looking for death. The sharp sword pointed at him. Huaxian hurriedly said, don't be impulsive, you are my hired bodyguard now. Aren't you also my person, who dares to bully my people? Wouldn't that be a slap in my face and make things difficult for me? Your explanation makes sense. Then he put away the sword. At this time, the communication from the true phoenix flame butterfly came in. She glared at Huaxian. Huaxian left tactfully. When he came outside, Huaxian thought about improving his strength quickly. System, I need to draw a true god level maximum realm upgrade ticket. It is necessary to improve the other realm. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have consumed 10 lottery fragments and drawn a wish item. A true god level full level upgrade scroll, and there are 6 lottery fragments left. System True God level max upgrade scroll, upgrade the 4 attribute basic true god realm to the max level. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have used the true god level upgrade voucher to upgrade to the 4 attribute true god realm Ru God level 60 peak. And obtained a breakthrough voucher, which allows you to complete the breakthrough to super god level 1. Huaxian came to the cafeteria. Husband, here. Unexpectedly. Everyone was also having a meal. Fortunately, no one was broadcasting live. So Huaxian walked over. Roten Tiger Xian asked curiously, honey, what did that tomboy want you to do? She didn't want to give you to. Huaxian interrupted, what are you thinking? Her Feiyank betrayed her and asked me to use hacking technology to help collect evidence. Oh, has it taken you so long to collect? Mu Jiao Yulan said with a smile. Huaxian rolled his eyes and said, you can think whatever you want. Why don't I have a share? We didn't know you were coming over for dinner. So go get it yourself, Dragonfly Crescent said. Huaxian got up to get food. At this time, the person in charge of the spacecraft found Huaxian with a smile. Huaxian asked, are you here to get your ring back? The other party smiled and said, Mr. Hu, let's not talk about this for now. The thing is, we still have 12 days to get to Death Island. The deeper we go, the more dangerous it will be, so I'm looking for you. Demon crystal, right? Yes, that's right. I wonder if you still have the demon crystal. Huaxian said calmly, I have plenty of demon crystals, and there are plenty of them in stock, but why am I the only one selling them? At this time, an old man came over and said, Mr. Hu, I am a dying man. This time I went out to sea to find an upgrade. I encountered a mysterious object in my early years. I don't know if it is a treasure. How much demon crystal spot can I sell it to you? The old man handed a brocade box to Hu Xian. He explained. This brocade box looks like it's made of wood, but it's incredibly hard. And the lock on it is also incredibly strange. I tried everything I could to open it. And I don't know what's inside. But judging from the hard material of this brocade box, it is not difficult to guess that there may be treasures inside. However, I can't open it, which means I am not destined to get the treasure. Mr. Hu, you are still young, and perhaps you will have a chance to open it. Hu Xian took the brocade box curiously. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have obtained a mysterious treasure chest. Open the treasure chest to have a chance to obtain a mysterious treasure. Or you can use the treasure chest to exchange for 30 lucky draw opportunity fragments. Hu Xian's body trembled, quite excited. This box can be exchanged for 30 lottery opportunity fragments, which shows how extraordinary it is. I guess the items inside are priceless. System, open the treasure chest for me. After hesitating, Hu Xian decided to give it a try. Ding, the host does not have the treasure chest key and cannot open the treasure chest. Hu Xian was speechless. He felt like the system was trying to forcibly swallow up the treasure chest. The more I thought about it, the more curious I became. What exactly was in the treasure chest? Why did the system take it so seriously? Young Master Hu, what do you think the value of the treasure chest is? The old man asked when he saw Hu Xian in a daze. Hu Xian responded. Although the box is mysterious, I can't open it, so it's hard to say its value. However, since you are willing to give it to everyone, I can't be stingy. Well, I'll pay the trillion demon crystals to buy your box. The trillion? The whole audience was stunned. They think that if they can reach 100 million, it would be good enough. Unexpectedly, it increased 20 times. After a while, the person in charge of the spacecraft was the first to react. He said happily, Young Master Hu, you really are worthy of being called a young master. We will all remember your kindness. Yes, Mr. Hu. We will all remember your kindness. In everyone's opinion, Hu Xian's offering of so many demon crystals was definitely an act of goodwill. Hu Xian smiled and said, You are too polite after all. I am also on this spaceship, so it is my duty to contribute a little. System, exchanged a trillion demon crystals for me. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 2 trillion and 500 trillion demon crystals within 100 minutes. And obtained 3 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding. New mission within 120 minutes. Complete a critical hit twice the integer of 5 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, 3 lottery opportunity fragments will be obtained. He took out a nano-space device containing 2 trillion demon crystals and handed it to the person in charge of the spaceship. After the latter confirmed it, he was even more excited. Young Master Hu, then we won't disturb you and your wives from having dinner. A group of people left excitedly. Hu Xian was also very happy. Hesitate behind the mountain. System, use this mysterious box to exchange for 30 lucky draw opportunity fragments from in. Although the brocade box is very mysterious, he has no use for it and cannot open it now. So he might as well exchange it for lottery opportunity fragments to improve his strength. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have successfully exchanged 30 lottery fragments using the mysterious box. System, I wish to draw a Super God level breakthrough volume into Super God level highest level upgrade volumes. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning a wish item. A Super God level breakthrough scroll, which consumes 10 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have won a wish item in the lottery. The Super God level 5 upgrade scrolls, and consume 20 lottery opportunity fragments. Hu Xian was overjoyed. It seems that the system got the mysterious box and got a good deal. And there is no failure rate in this lottery. I thought to myself, you have some conscience. System, use the 2 Super God breakthrough scrolls to break through to the Super God level, and then use 2 Super God upgrade scrolls to upgrade me to the 4 attribute Dao Super God level 10. Ding, congratulations to the host, the 4 attributes have broken through to the Super God level. Ding, congratulations to the host, you had used a Super God level 5 upgrade scrolls to upgrade the 4 attributes to Super God level 10. When the 4 attributes broke through to the 10th level of Super God, Hu Xian's most obvious feeling was that his strength became stronger. Infinitely stronger, and he felt invincible. I didn't expect that the powerful feeling brought by the breakthrough of the basic 4 attributes to the 10th level of Super God is much stronger than other attributes. Now, even if he faces the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly, he feels that he can fight. Some are swollen. Chapter 567. Surrender but not kill. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly arrived by chance. Hu Xian excitedly said to her, True Phoenix Flame Butterfly. How about a sparring match? The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly was stunned. The whole audience was stunned. He looked at Hu Xian with an incredible look. I wonder if you are crazy or tired of living. Fight with the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly. Zhen Fengyan reacted and was angry since someone came to her door. There was no reason not to fulfill her wish. He nodded and walked out of the restaurant. Hu Xian followed excitedly. Ziyuan Huairan and the others finally reacted. Do you think my husband is crazy? I also think that even when he was at his strongest, he was a match for the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly. Now that he is in a weak period, isn't he looking for trouble? Let's go and see what's going on. I hope my husband won't be punished too badly. On deck, no one is optimistic about Hu Xian. Watch this. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly rushed directly towards Hu Xian. She deliberately let the water out so that everyone could see her figure clearly. Hu Xian smiled slightly and thought, even if there is a gap between you and me, it is definitely not big. The 4 attribute Super God 10th level realm erupted. The demonized coffee cat appeared on the shoulder. The soul conversion combat power was activated by 1 billion times, and the cumulative combat power increased by 2.3 billion times. An explosion of primary all-around combat skills. Boom! There was a loud bang. A true Phoenix Flame Butterfly that let go retreated again and again. Perform a combo. Boom boom boom. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly was actually suppressed and at a disadvantage. I was extremely shocked in my heart that this human, who had been pretending to be a super god, actually possessed the combat power of level 20. Buzz! A terrifying aura burst out from the body of the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly, and the combat power of the super god level 30 exploded. Coupled with her talent, she leapt several small realms and instantly crushed Hu Xian. Bang, bang, bang. Amid a series of beatings. Boom! With a loud bang, Hu Xian fell heavily on the deck. A wave of light rippled out from the deck. It can be seen that there is also a formation defense on the deck. Hu Xian was already dying and it was difficult for him to move. Fortunately, his 4 attribute realms had reached the 15th level of Super God. If it were any other creature, he would have fainted long ago. Seeing that Hu Xian was still able to move, Zhen Fengyan made a surprised sound. Only then did I realize that this seemingly wealthy guy was not simple. The holy body of light played a huge role at this time. Quickly repairing the body. Husband, Ziyuan Huairan and the others finally reacted and rushed over worriedly. It was heartbreaking to see Hu Xian being beaten so badly. Tomboy, you're too cruel. Gefei pointed at her angrily. Zhen Fengyan said, if I had been more ruthless, he would have been dead. He deserves it for challenging me when he has no strength. After saying that, he walked away. A group of women carried Hu Xian back to the room. Gefei and Ziyuan stayed to take care of them, while everyone else left. When it was almost 2 hours, Hu Xian shouted weakly, my wife Huairan, sell me your hairpin. Ziyuan still cried out in surprise, and then said speechless lie, hubby, if you like it, I'll give it to you. Gefei said, buy it for your husband, he must complete his spending task. Having followed Hu Xian for so long, Gefei knows Hu Xian quite well. Ziyuan Huairan suddenly realized what Hu Xian had said before. That someone was forcing him to consume. The outside world was also going crazy with the rumor that Hu Xian was just a puppet of the devil tribe, who were forcing him to spend money. Then she threw the hairpin to Hu Xian. Hu Xian took out the Black Devil card with difficulty to transfer the money. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the consumption of 5 trillion demon crystals in 120 minutes. And obtaining 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Completed within 150 minutes and consume twice 10 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments will be awarded. System, I wish to draw the highest level Super God level upgrade ticket. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning a Super God level 5 upgrade scroll. 10 lottery fragments are consumed, leaving 2 fragments. System, use the Super God upgrade scroll to strengthen the 4 attributes of the Super God realm. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have successfully upgraded the 4 attribute realms using the Super God level 5 upgrade scroll, and your current realm is Super God level 15. His strength skyrocketed by 5 small realms. His genes were almost reborn, and with the recovery ability of his bright physique, Hu Xian instantly recovered. Just sat up. Gefei and Ziyuan were still shocked. Hubby, are you recovered? He asked stuttering Lai. Hu Xian nodded. Yes, I have recovered. Stretch my muscles. Crackling. A series of bone-cracking sounds demonstrated the powerful force to the fullest. Hu Xian opened the door. Seeing Zhen Fengyan just reaching out to knock on the door, both of them were stunned. Zhen Fengyan reacted first and asked in disbelief, are you really Hu Xian? He knew in his heart how cruel his actions were. but the person in front of me is clearly unharmed. Uxian smiled and said, "Of course it's me, what do you want to see me for? Are you feeling guilty and want to apologize by giving yourself to me? Haven't you been beaten enough?" As he spoke, he was about to take action. Uxian hurriedly said, "Sister, I was wrong. I am no match for you from now on. I will rely on you to protect me." That's better. From now on, just call me sister and I will protect you. By the way, how did you recover so quickly? Sister, do you want to know? Uxian said with a smile. Forget it. Don't be angry, sister, because I have this genetic power. The genetic power of light at Rebute appeared in the palm of Uxian's hand. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly was stunned with shock. After realizing what was happening, he was extremely shocked and said in a very serious tone, "Put it away quickly, remember, never use the power of the light gene in front of outsiders again. The entire Red Moon Star is ruled by demons and evil. What they hate most are light-related creatures. The light and angel races are slaughtered by them." Uxian had thought that the power of light was not liked by dark creatures, but he did not expect it to be so serious, so he quickly suppressed it. Oh no, something terrible has happened. There was an anxious roar from outside. "Pirates, they are brutal death pirates." Someone shouted out the reason. "Oh no, the death pirates are extremely brutal and powerful. We are in trouble." True Phoenix Flame Butterfly was also shocked. He turned around and rushed out. Uxian followed closely behind. "Go to the high deck and look in all directions." A total of 8 pirate ships surrounded the spaceship from all directions. Each spaceship has a huge black skull logo on a white background. Oh no, it's the most vicious Black Skull pirates. Those who recognized him were terrified and felt that the end of the world was coming. On the spaceship led by the local leader, a man shouted loudly, "All creatures on the No. 9 spaceship of the evil clan military, listen to me, put down your weapons and surrender them. We will not kill you." Chapter 568, It's Your Turn. The whole audience was extremely nervous. Even the black-clad guards looked gloomy and in a bad mood. Uxian walked to the edge and looked directly at the other party and asked, "What is your purpose in surrounding us?" All the eyes of the other party were focused on Uxian. Human race? They were all very surprised to see that it was a human. The leader said disapprovingly, "What right do you, a lowly human, have to speak? Once we break into your spaceship, we will kill you first." Uxian frowned, looked at the other death pirates and asked, "Among you, is this crooked guy the one who has the final say?" Both sides were stunned. It is unbelievable that a human being can be so arrogant. The guy was even more furious and roared, "Who are you calling ugly?" Uxian said calmly, "Whoever asks me, I will scold them. How dare you, you arrogant and ignorant human. I will make you live a life worse than death and beg me to kill you." Uxian said disapprovingly, "You useless piece of shit. Why do you need another minute, or do you not dare to fight me alone? And only know how to fight in a group? What did you say?" Uxian continued to curse, "You fool, I've hit you so hard. Do you dare to challenge me? Fight with force, fight with words, fight with money? Which of you is not rubbish? You're so brave. I understand you want to fight me in a one-on-one duel, right?" The other party asked viciously. Uxian smiled and said, "Finally you have some brains. You have the guts. Very good, either you come over or I come over." The other party said viciously. The others on both sides were stunned. "I feel like things are not developing as I imagined." Uxian flew directly into the air. "Husband?" Ziyuan still made them all scream and worry. Uxian turned around and looked at them, and said confidently, "Don't worry, don't you still believe me?" After saying that, he flew towards the opponent's spaceship. A true Phoenix Flame Butterfly flew into the air and followed behind Uxian. Uxian stopped and said, "Don't go over there, or people will say I'm a coward and afraid of them." "Are you sure you can do it, Sen Fangyan?" I asked in a deep voice. Uxian chuckled and said, "You'll know if it works when you try it when you have time." The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly, who understood what was happening, shouted angrily, "Are you looking for a fight?" Uxian had already flown out of the spaceship's defense shield and was flying towards the enemy ship. A true Phoenix Flame Butterfly hesitated for a while, but returned to the deck. Uxian came to the other side's defense shield and said disapprovingly, "Why, you don't dare to let him in." The spacecraft's defense shield generally has no restrictions on exiting, but no restrictions on entering. The person in charge of the other party waved his hand, and someone opened a gap. Under the enemy's murderous gaze, Uxian flew in nonchalantly. These pirates looked at Uxian coldly and did not take him seriously. The pirate who had been shouting at him jumped over, and stood in front of Uxian, saying viciously, "You lowly human, I'll give you a chance to live. I'll spare you if you kowtow to me and beg for mercy now." I was thinking to myself, just wait and see how I play tricks on a cowardly and fearful human like you. Huaxian said disdainfully. What a piece of rubbish. You can even come up with such a trick as your IQ 0 or below 0. You're looking for death. We have to take action. Huaxian stretched out his hand to stop him. Wait. Why? You want to beg for mercy now? It's too late? Beg for mercy? That's your business. I just want to ask, what do you want to compete with me in? Is it financial strength, martial arts, or literature? It's up to you to deal with your little human race. The other party is full of confidence and very arrogant. Huaxian nodded and said, in that case, let's compare our financial strength. Okay, then financial strength, how do you want to compare? Huaxian said casually, it's simple, you and I announce the balances in our devil cards. Whoever has more will win. Okay, let's start. The other party couldn't wait to take out the devil card. Huaxian stopped him again. Wait, since this is a competition, there must be stakes. You forgot about it, tell me. What do you want to bet on? Huaxian pretended to think for a moment and said, can you decide on this spaceship? What do you mean? The other party asked unhappily. Huaxian smiled and said, I have the final say over our spaceship. The stakes are the entire spaceship. Bullshit, you are a human. How can you be the master of the spaceship of the evil clan military? No one believed what Huaxian said. Huaxian turned around confidently and looked towards the spaceship and asked, tell me loudly whether I can make the decision on the spaceship. Who doesn't know Huaxian's financial resources? If the other party compares financial resources with Huaxian, he will definitely lose. So everyone shouted, Mr. Who can make the decision? The sound was so deafening that no one could doubt it. Huaxian turned around and looked at the guy and said, did you see that? Right? A guy looked a little embarrassed and looked at an old man behind him. The old man said, come here. The guy walked over happily. The old man reached out and grabbed his hand, which looked like a handshake. But in fact a card was placed in his hand. Then he said loudly, of course he can make the decision. Huaxian saw everything and said with a smile, okay, if that's the case, then we'll bet on financial strength. A winner will get everything on the other side's spaceship, including the personnel you must obey. Do you dare? Everyone on the other side asked back. Do you dare? On the spaceship, everyone shouted in unison. We dare. He has great confidence in Huaxian's financial resources. This scene made people here a little worried. The old man said, if the other party dares to do this, why shouldn't we dare to do this? Be confident that you can use your demon card and you will definitely win. But the bandits on the entire spaceship shouted. Huaxian looked at the other 7 spaceships and said, they won't be so embarrassed that they will force me to give up on you. Right? Human, shut up. Although we are okay, we are trustworthy. If we gamble, we will definitely lose. Okay, in that case, let's get started. The guy took out the old man's orange devil card. And the old man directly gave permission, allowing everyone to see the balance reflected on the devil card. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Some people even counted out loud. 1,500,681,000,000,000,000,000 demon crystals. Yes. After counting them clearly, countless pirates took a deep breath. Everyone was shocked by the balance. On the pirate ship No. 5, someone said in surprise, I never thought that this Crab King, he is so wealthy and has so many demon crystals. But he usually cries poor. That's right, this guy always pretends to be poor. I was fooled by him. Obviously some people have recognized that this demon card is no match for Huaxian, but belongs to the captain of pirate ship No. 6, Huaxian's opponent. Seeing this number, was full of confidence and said to him proudly, it's your turn. Chapter 516. This bet is unfair. Huaxian pretended to be dissatisfied and said, you actually cheated and used your captain's devil card to compete with me. This guy said proudly, there are no rules, I can't use other people's devil cards to compete. Hurry up and take out your devil card to show the balance. Huaxian said with a gloomy face, you just occupy the balance of this demon card and don't take out your own? It's easy to deal with you with the balance of our captain's demon card. Hurry up and stop pretending to be calm and stalling for time. Huaxian nodded and said, in other words, I will take out the devil card and show the balance. As long as the balance on the card is greater than the balance on the card in your hand, you will win, right? The other party said with a guilty conscience. As long as the balance of the demon card you took out is more than the one I have, you win. Hurry up. I was also worried that Huaxian would ask for the devil card from other people on the spaceship. At this point, they still have a chance to win through crowdfunding, but if they let him take it from themselves, they won't be able to cheat. Huaxian nodded and said, okay, let's show everyone my balance. Everyone's eyes were focused on Huaxian. On the Ziyuan clan's military spaceship No. 9, everyone admired Huaxian's courage to death. Even if you have the demon crystal, if you don't have the courage and are afraid of death, Who would dare to go deep into the enemy camp? When I saw that Huaxian took out the Black Devil card, all the pirates were shocked. How could it be a Black Devil card? The captain of pirate ship No. 6 suddenly had a bad feeling. After being shocked, Huaxian's opponent comforted himself and said frighteningly, "It was just a Black Devil card," which did not mean that he had so many devil crystals. In order to give himself courage, he deliberately shouted loudly, "It's just a Black Devil card if you want to win me. Show me your balance quickly." Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay, then let everyone see my balance." When Huaxian's balance was reflected in the air, everyone sees a 1, followed by all zeros. Tens, hundreds, thousands, millions. Many people counted them. 10 trillion demon crystals. Someone shouted in shock. Ding dong. All the demon cards in Huaxian's opponent's hand fell onto the deck. 10 trillion demon crystals, crush him. Lost badly. Huaxian looked at the captain and said, "You should be able to afford to lose now. This spaceship and everyone on it belong to me." The captain clenched his fists and began to gather strength. How could he accept defeat? Huaxian sensed the danger. He looked around and saw nearly 10,000 bandits. He then announced loudly, "Since everyone is mine now, the gift of meeting must be given." Everyone was stunned, and then wondered what kind of gift this human was going to give. Huaxian walked up to the guy, picked up the captain's demon card that he had dropped, and announced loudly, "I have decided to transfer these 10 trillion demon crystals to the captain's card. The captain will distribute it to everyone as a welcome gift." What? All the pirates on the spaceship were stunned with shock. The captain looked at Huaxian in disbelief. "These are tens of trillions of demon crystals. Not demon coins, nor pebbles." Huaxian transferred the money without hesitation. "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 10 trillion demon crystals within 150 minutes. And received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission, complete triple critical strike within 150 minutes. Consume 30 trillion demon crystals, kill the host if the mission fails, and reward 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments for completing the mission." The captain was stunned when he received the notification that 10 trillion demon crystals had arrived. I was shocked by Huaxian's arrogance. Huaxian struck while the iron was hot and asked the captain, "Captain, tell the brothers, have the 10 trillion arrived?" All the pirates were looking at the captain. The captain reacted, took a deep breath, and faced with the gazes of his brothers. He didn't dare to lie, nodded and said, "Yes, the 10 trillion has arrived. I will distribute it to everyone when we return from the mission." Yes. After getting the confirmation, the pirates were extremely shocked, and some even took a deep breath. 10 trillion. Even if the more than 10,000 pirates divided it equally, it would still be an astronomical figure. When they looked at Huaxian, they immediately found him very pleasing to the eye. "A king crab, are you really going to betray our death pirates?" The captain of the nearby pirate ship No. 5 asked loudly. "King crab," he looked over and said, "How can I, king crab he? Not someone who can't afford to lose. If I lose, if you are not convinced, then you can fight him and win us back." Hearing this, the pirates secretly praised the captain for his skill. Not only did it save its reputation, but it also threw the difficult problem to Corsair No. 5. Shrimp Nosey's expression immediately darkened, and he was a little annoyed that he had said so much. So many captains didn't say anything. Now the arrow was on the string and had to be shot. So he could only bite the bullet and say to Huaxian, "Human, do you dare to challenge me to a fight?" Huaxian asked calmly. "Why not? I don't know what you want to bet on it. It's best to choose your strengths. Otherwise you will lose miserably." "I don't like to use my strengths to attack my opponents. I like to use my opponents' strengths to attack them." "What do you mean?" Huaxian asked with a frown. Shrimp Nosy laughed shamelessly. "Isn't your strength that you have a lot of demon crystals? Then I will do the same as Crab King He and compete with you on the balance of demon cards." As soon as these words came out, on the side of the evil clan's spaceship No. 9, countless people were furious. "Captain of pirate ship No. 5, you are despicable and shameless. How can I compete with you when I know that Mr. Who just transferred all 10 trillion demon crystals to Crab King He? Yes, pirates are pirates, they are so despicable." Huaxian also matched their gloomy expression. Huaxian minds his own business, didn't care about that. He looked at Huaxian with great pride and asked, "Human boy, do you dare to bet?" Huaxian said in a deep voice, "Let's bet. But can you change the details of the bet?" Shrimp Nosy asked. "What details?" Huaxian said, "Let's bet on who has the least demon crystals." Shrimp Nosy was stunned. The kiteless pirates were also stunned. "Damn, this human race is so despicable, how can they even say such a thing?" Immediately, the pirates on pirate ship No. 5 began to curse. Your captain is the bastard. The people on the No. 9 spaceship of the Ziyuan clan military cursed at him. Shrimp Mindful laughed and said, "There's no need to change the rules. The rules you and King Crab he bet on are our rules. It's the same if we block a spaceship if you win. My spaceship and all my brothers will be yours if I win. King Crab he's and his spaceship will be mine." After that, he said to Crab King he in a very proud manner, "Crab King he, when the time comes, you and your brothers will be my spoils of war. You will all be my little brothers." Crab King he's expression was extremely ugly, and he said angrily, "This bet isn't fair." Chapter 570. I lost. Shrimp Nosy sneered, "What's unfair? Besides, this human didn't say it wasn't fair." Huaxian nodded and said, "I really don't find anything unfair." The nosy shrimp shouted at the Crab King even more arrogantly, "You heard me, I don't think it's unfair." He was extremely happy as he finally had the chance to completely crush Crab King he under his feet. I never dreamed that I would be able to conquer him in such an occasion. Crab King he's expression was extremely ugly. He walked to Huaxian, handed his devil card to Huaxian and said, "Since he wants to bet like this, then I'll bet with my devil card." Huaxian nodded and took out his devil card. The smile on Shrimp Nosy's face instantly disappeared, and he said angrily, "King Crab he, you are breaking the rules. Also, as a death pirate, you openly stand on the side of humans. Do you really want to betray us?" Crab King he said in a desperate tone. "This human defeated us, I kept my promise, I am just doubting him. Then I will use my devil card to fight you. Is that not too much? You." Now it was Shrimp Mind's turn to be extremely angry. When Crab King he saw that he was in pain, his face became even more smug. At this time, the captain of the No. 7 spaceship, Seagull Lizzie, said, "If humans want to gamble, they should gamble with their own devil cards." Huaxian interrupted, "What about Crab King he just now?" Before Huaxian could finish, Haikal Lizzie interrupted. "Just now, let's talk about the rules now. If you want to bet, and bet. If you don't, we will attack your spaceship." The threat was clear. Huaxian stared at the attractive woman and suddenly said, "Okay, let's bet, but I have 2 spaceships and Xiaguan she only has 1. Since you asked, do you dare to increase the bet?" Seagull Chestnut was stunned. "I didn't expect this family to suddenly become so crazy. I thought, seeing that all the balance on his demon card had been transferred to Crab King he, there couldn't be any demon crystals left, right?" Hesitated. Shrimp was nosy but confident. "Haikal as I made a bet with him. If I win, King Crab he and his spaceship will belong to me, and the spaceship of the evil resentment tribe will belong to you." Haikal Lizzie, who was still hesitant, finally nodded and said, "Okay, then block it." Be on the safe side, she still did a small move and silently transferred all the money in her devil card to Xiaguan Shoshui. After receiving this amount of money, Shrimp Nosy looked at Seagull Chestnut and became even more confident. The urge to Xin, "Now that we have agreed, let's get started. I'll give you a chance, show your balance first." Huaxian took a deep breath and deliberately expressed great pressure. This made many pirates laugh proudly, thinking that victory was in their grasp. Huaxian took out the devil card and reflected the balance. Everyone's eyes subconsciously focused on the balance display. When you see a 3 followed by a series of zeros, everyone's body trembled violently and they were stunned. It took me a long time to recover. After a long while, Shrimp Nosy exclaimed, "How is it possible? You just had a balance of 10 trillion and transferred it all to Crab King he's card. How come it has now become 30 trillion demon crystal?" Countless pirates focused their eyes on Huaxian, waiting for his explanation. Huaxian smiled and said, "Oh, it's like this. After I transferred the money just now, I felt unsafe without the demon crystal, so I sent a message to my family and asked them to transfer some money to me. Although I know, my family loves me so much that they directly transferred 30 trillion demon crystals to me and told me to spend frugally." Huaxian said it so lightly that everyone was shocked. What kind of family is this? The transfer is a transfer of 30 trillion. Isn't this guy a human? Could it be that the evil clan is disguised as humans? Huaxian said to Xia, "It's your turn to take the remaining time." Shrimp Nosy suddenly laughed bitterly. The combined weight of him and Haikal Lizzie is just over 1 trillion. How can they fight? He said bitterly, "I lost." Huaxian smiled and said, "Then give me your devil card." "What to do?" Shrimp Nosy asked subconsciously. Huaxian smiled and said, "I gave the pirate ship No. 6 a welcome gift of 10 trillion after I conquered it. So the one for the pirate ship No. 5 must be no less." After hearing this, the pirates found that they were not angry at all, but very happy. Faced with the temptation of trillions and trillions, Xiaguan Shishi couldn't help himself and handed the devil card to Huaxian uncontrollably. The main thing is that we have already lost, and it is not easy to cheat with so many people watching. It is better to get the benefits first and then talk about it. Huaxian immediately transferred him 10 trillion. After receiving the payment, a noticeable smile appeared on Shrimp Nosy's face. Huaxian looked at Haikal Lazai, who was standing beside him, and said, "From now on, you are also mine. No matter how you listen to this. It sounds weird." Seagull Chestnut frowned. Huaxian continued to say to her, "Give me your devil card as well. The 10 trillion gift from ship No. 7 will not be less." The unlucky ones on boat number 7 became so excited that they almost screamed. What is the purpose of being a pirate? Isn't it just for the demon crystal? But the demon crystal, I have everything now. The new boss is very generous and gives out gifts in trillions of silver. When Seagull Lazai received the money, he looked at Huaxian with genuine shock. In full view of everyone, Huaxian walked in front of Haikal Lazai, very close to her. Seagull Lazai didn't want to retreat, but Huaxian became more and more excessive. She was so scared that her heart beat faster and she had to take a step back and shouted angrily, "What are you going to do?" Huaxian smiled and replied, "Everyone who knows me knows that I have no shortage of demon coins. I only have one hobby, which is liking beautiful women. Captain Seagull Chestnut, you are so naturally beautiful. If I don't fall in love with you, wouldn't it be abnormal? Shut up. Even though I lost the bet to you and can obey you, it doesn't mean you can humiliate me." Huaxian said seriously, "You are blaming me wrongly. I never thought of humiliating you. I like you from the bottom of my heart. Well, to show my sincerity to you, I still have 10 trillion even crystals in my card. I will give them all to you. Just consider it as a gift to express my love for you." Regardless of whether Seagull Lazai agreed or not, he dodged the devil card in her hand and transferred the money directly. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 30 trillion reeling crystals within 150 minutes. And received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 150 minutes and consume 60 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. Complete the mission and be rewarded with 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments. Seagull Chestnut was completely stunned after receiving another $1 trillion. Now she has 20 trillion demon crystals. I have never earned so much in my entire life. Now you can get it easily. Huaxian took this opportunity to hug her in his arms. And the latter even forgot to struggle. "You lowly human. You dare to touch my woman, you will die." An angry roar came from Pirate Ship No. 3 Chapter 571. Let's talk about it after you pass this level. Pirate Ship No. 3 was originally on the other side of the encirclement of the Ziyuan clan's military spacecraft. It must have heard the noise and moved towards his side. Captain Heian Pengji happened to see Huaxian hugging Seagull Lazai and became furious. He rushed out of Pirate Ship No. 3, regardless of everything, and rushed towards Pirate Ship No. 6 with murderous intent from the sky. Boom! Some of them lost their minds and forgot that the spaceship had defenses. After a heavy collision on the defense, he finally sobered up a little and roared at Crab King He. "Open the defense shield for me." Crab King He looked at Huaxian. At this time, Seagull, Chestnut, and Shrimp Nosy were all there, and if he opened them directly, he would be in a position to lose. After all, in the current sense, this spaceship belongs to Huaxian. Achayu Lazai reacted from his shock, pushed Huaxian away, and said to Heian Pengji, "Pengji, don't misunderstand me. There's nothing between him and me." Huaxian smiled and said, "Yes, we really have nothing. I just transferred 10 trillion yuan as a love confession gift to Seagull Lazai, and I haven't had time to do anything yet. You lowly human are looking for death. If you have the guts, let me in and fight me." Huaxian looked calm and not afraid at all, and asked, "What good will it bring me to fight you? Tell me, and you can get the Seagull Chestnuts openly." Heian Pengji roared. Seagull Lazai immediately frowned, very unhappy that Seagull Pengji treated him as a gambling chip. Huaxian noticed this detail and shook his head. "Sorry. I like her. I will pursue her openly and honestly and impress her with my sincerity. I will never use my favorite woman as a bet. Let's change the bet." When Seagull Lazai heard this, he subconsciously glanced at Huaxian and was a little surprised. Heian Pengji noticed this scene and was furious. He roared, "You lowly human race, you really know how to play tricks. Well, if you don't want to bet on Seagull Chestnut, then don't bet. Don't you want to defeat our death pirates in this way? If you kill me, Pirate Ship No. 3 will be yours. If you lose, you will die, and all the people on the Ziyuan clan's military spaceship will be buried with you." The latter words scared many people on the military spacecraft to death. Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay, I accept your challenge." After saying that, he flew out of the spaceship. On the military spacecraft, Zhen Feng and I frowned and muttered, is this guy crazy? The ultimate fighting power that burst out is barely 20 levels beyond God. The opponent is a real super god level 21 strong man. With the equipment and skills, I'm afraid he is even stronger. The fight under such circumstances is simply to seek death. Terry Yuan still said confidently, our husband never does anything he is not sure of. He can definitely do it. Yes, we believe in my husband. DFEI and the others have great trust in Huaxin. Die. As soon as Huaxin flew out of the spaceship's defense shield, He and Peng Ji couldn't wait to attack Huaxin. Huaxin did not dare to be careless. And the Ling Shen sword he made himself appeared in his hand. The combat power of the 4 attributes Super God level 15 is fully unleashed. The demonized Cafe Thiel cat appeared on his shoulder. Soul combat power increased. The combat power increase of more than 2 billion caused Huaxin's hand holding the knife to tremble slightly. This is a manifestation of power reaching a terrifying level. In the eyes of countless pirates, Huaxin was frightened by He and Peng Ji. Slowly speaking, everything happened in the blink of an eye. Achei and Peng got very close to Huaxin and struck him with a fierce blow. Huaxin murmured softly, a crazy attack. He directly mobilized all the power of the 4 basic attributes and launched a crazy attack. Plus a combat power increase of more than 2 billion times. Take the enemy by surprise. Boom! With a loud bang, He and Peng Ji was completely enveloped by the terrifying genetic power. For a moment, no one else could see the situation clearly. Super god level strongmen like Seagull Lazai looked at Huaxin in horror. Huaxin's outburst just now made them all feel the threat of death. I was shocked to the extreme. I didn't expect that this human, who looked ordinary, could unleash such terrifying combat power. Genetic power dissipates. Where He and Peng Ji was originally. Some weapons and equipment, and cards fell like a sea of death. The pirates were shocked again. There was no body left. There was a deep fear in Huaxin's eyes. The 4 attribute basic genetic power also entered a weak period. Huaxin took over the genetic power of other systems. The system concealed the aura Eve cultivation, and returned to pirate ship No. 6. It gives people the feeling that it is mysterious and unpredictable, and the details are unclear. Huaxin smiled and said to the Crab King, go and help me take over pirate ship No. 3. Crab King he nodded, not daring to disobey, and flew towards pirate ship No. 3. Huaxin walked up to Seagull Lazy and grabbed his hand. Seagull Chestnut stared at him intently and forgot to avoid him. When Huaxin grabbed my hand, I wanted to pull it back, but gave up. Huaxin smiled and said, that kind of guy is not worthy of you. From now on, be my baby and I will spoil you. Seagull Chestnut always felt weird, but couldn't muster up the courage to refuse. Women are going to get married after finding a man. So who doesn't like a handsome man? The issue of race or no race is only addressed to the weak. There is no racial gap among the strong. At this time, the other 4 spaceships gave up on blocking the Ziyuan clan's military spaceship and flew towards their own spaceships No. 3567. Because the spaceship was very large and the distance was quite far. They only knew that something happened here but didn't know exactly what happened. After waiting for a long time, they couldn't wait any longer and all flew over. The captain of 1248, Shrimp Nosy and Seagull Chestnut were all on the flagship. And they also flew over. The deputy quickly opened the protective shield and let them in. Captain No. 1, the Baleen Wei Lhaba, looked at Huaxin and asked in a deep voice, what's wrong with you? Shrimp Nosy smiled bitterly and said, we lost the bet with this human. What bet did you lose to a human? The captain of pirate ship number 2, Shen Luan Chongqian asked. Shrimp Nosy said bitterly, we lost the bet on the remaining crystals in the battle against the devil. At this time, Crab King he took control of spaceship No. 3 and returned here. Seeing the 140 captains, he also smiled bitterly. Where is the Baleen Whale Sea Tyrant on ship number 3? Captain DNIUWUDI of Captain No, they'd asked. Seagull, Chestnut and the others all think he looks like Huaxin. What do you mean, did this human kill him? Captain No. 4, Haikao King, frowned and asked. Seagull Chestnut said bitterly. That's right, Seagull Peng Ji fought a life and death battle with this human. But was killed instantly. What? Instant kill? What realm is this human being at? Shan Luan Chongqian asked in shock. Everyone's eyes were focused on Huaxin. Huaxin was full of confidence and not panicked at all. He said with a smile, it doesn't really matter what realm I am in. What matters is, are you willing to submit to me? That confident look made the 4 of them frown. Baleen Whale Tyrant said inferently, it's not impossible for you to ask us to surrender. But you can talk about it after you get past me. Chapter 572. It's not like you to be so impatient. The Baleen Whale Sea Overlord is a ruthless man of few words. bursting with the strength of a super god at level 31. All the spaceships at the scene were enveloped by his aura. And all living beings were extremely shocked. After Zhen Fengyan I felt it. Her heart became extremely heavy, and this time she didn't say anything, because everyone can feel this aura. Seeing this guy was about to take action, Huaxian took the initiative. He silently said in his heart, Super God Disguise. Buzz. At least the aura of a super god level 50 burst out. Like a baleen whale, it enveloped all the spaceships. Boom boom boom. All living beings did not dare to stand and all knelt down. This divine power terrified them to the core. A baleen whale sea tyrant, who was the first to be hit, broke out in a cold sweat instantly, and relied on the realm of Super God 31 to hold on. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Ding dong. He still couldn't withstand the absolute divine power and fell to his knees. Only then did Huaxian put away his super god disguise. He said in a nonchalant tone, I like to win people over with virtue. But if anyone wants to use force, He and Pengji will be the end of them. They all shuddered, and at this moment, they were truly terrified. Huaxian then asked, Are you willing to follow me now? Seaweed King King was the first to express her opinion. I, Seaweed King King, am willing to follow you, my lord. Huaxian nodded at her and said, Very good, you are good. Give me your devil card. Sir, what are you doing? Seagull Chestnut answered for Huaxian. As long as the spaceship returns to him, the master will give a welcome gift of 10 rillion Neman crystals. Sister Haikao, after you receive the characters, just distribute them to the brothers. This. Stunned. The greeting gift is 10 rillion Neman crystals. Isn't this too arrogant? Haikao King was stunned for a while, and handed her devil card to Huaxian in disbelief. Huaxian immediately transferred her 10 rillion crystals. Did it really arrive? Haikao King muttered in disbelief. Huaxian looked at the other three and asked, What about you? DNIUWUD I said quickly, I am willing to surrender. Sir. Actively place the demon card. Huaxian was straightforward and transferred the money directly. After receiving the payment, even though he was mentally prepared, DNIUWUD was still shocked. After all, these are trillions of demon crystals, not demon coins. Shanluan Chongqian asked in a deep voice. Sir, what will happen if I don't surrender to you? Everyone's eyes fell on Huaxian. Huaxian smiled faintly and said, I won't make things difficult for you. Just leave. Goodbye then. Shanluan Chongqian was extremely decisive. He clasped his fists and left. But he left alone and did not take the spaceship with him. Huaxian Seagull Chestnut said, Baby, take over the pirate ship. Seagull Chestnut left shyly. Baby? Seaweed King muttered, What is your relationship? Huaxian smiled and said, I pursued Seagull Li, and he agreed to my request. So we are naturally in a relationship. Is that so? Then what do you think of me? After saying that, he walked around in front of Huaxian. Huaxian said happily, Of course it is very beautiful. And I'll be your baby, is that okay? I didn't expect Haikao King to be so proactive. Huaxian nodded and said, Of course there is no problem. Yeah, then you will be my Haikao King's man from now on. While speaking, he walked over and took Huaxian's arm. Huaxian took her in his arms and said, I'm happy to be your man. A Liyuel tyrant said at this time, Human, although you are very strong, you are definitely not a match for the Pirate King. I have already informed the Pirate King that he is on his way and will arrive here in an hour at most. Huaxian asked, What do you mean by that? A lean whale tyrant said proudly. My meaning is very simple. If you can defeat the Pirate King, I will submit to you. Huaxian sneered, Tell me the truth. Will it cause any loss to me if you submit to me or not? The baleen whale tyrant was stunned. Then he asked, Don't you want to subdue our death pirates and dominate the Sea of Death? Huaxian shook his head and smiled. First of all, my destination is Death Island. Secondly, do you know how big the Sea of Death is? Do you dare to claim that Shen dominates the Sea of Death? Okay, we are going to the Sea of Death. If you don't want to surrender, you can leave now. As for the Pirate King you mentioned, it doesn't matter if he doesn't come, but if he doesn't appreciate my kindness, I don't mind killing him. After saying that, he hugged Haikao King and left spaceship No. 6 fly to the military spacecraft. On the military spacecraft, everyone looked at Huaxian's return excitedly. They all remembered clearly what had happened. And at this moment, everyone regarded themselves as Huaxian's subordinates, including criminals. Just because Huaxian is too strong. With his own strength, he suppressed 7 pirate ships. The final burst of power was even more terrifying. Back on the military spacecraft, the evil resentment still surrounded them. Honey, you're so awesome, Rodent Tiger Huaxian praised excitedly. True Phoenix Flame Butterfly stared at Huaxian and said, You are really well hidden. Huaxian chuckled and said. I didn't hide it on purpose, I just wanted to pursue you. But I was afraid that you liked my ability instead of me as a person. So I did this. Snort. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly snorted angrily. But didn't say much. I have begun to accept Huaxian in my heart. Huaxian ordered the captain beside him, start the spaceship and head to Death Island. The military spacecraft was launched. Except for the baleen whale Sea Tyrant spaceship no. The other 6 pirate spaceships followed behind. It is such a huge team. Not to mention, ordinary sea beasts would not dare to mess with such a team. At this time, Haikao King said to Huaxian, my man, Baleen Whale HABA is right, the Pirate King is very strong. I feel that his aura is even stronger than the one you just exploded. You better be prepared. Hearing this, Huaxian did not appear panicked at all, but was extremely shocked inside. The aura is even more powerful than the one he had just now. Doesn't that mean he must be at least level 50 super god? If such a being really comes to hunt me down and we have a disagreement, I still have a chance to resurrect, but what about the others? No, we need to improve our strength as soon as possible. Yao Yi, come with me. Huaxian took the evil monster Yao Yi away. Others subconsciously followed. Huaxian turned around and said, my wives, let Yao Yi sleep with me this time, you guys next time. Everyone was extremely shy and stopped, rolling their eyes. The evil monster Yao Yi felt flattered. When they arrived at the room, Huaxian couldn't wait to undress her. I was so anxious that I ended up taking a long time to solve the problem. This made the evil monster Yao Yi couldn't help but laugh. Huaxian stared at her and asked, what are you laughing at, Yao Yi wife? I'm laughing at you, husband, you, Ray, so impatient. It's not like you. Huaxian chuckled and said, it's because you are so beautiful, my wife Yao Yi. Chapter 573, The Pirate King arrives. Enter the state. Husband, you are trying to take away my cultivation again. Don't worry. System, Human King, give me unlimited strengthening of the evil monster Yao Yi. Ding, the host has successfully set the infinite strengthening of the evil monster Yao Yi. In an instant, the evil monster Yao Yi's cultivation level of the 3rd level of Super God began to rise steadily. Huaxian used the evil body of the evil monster Yao Yi to frantically take away his cultivation. Because he could only take away half of the opponent, the evil monster Yao Yi's cultivation level was also soaring. This scene left her stunned. How could I not understand? My husband must have performed some powerful dual cultivation secret method. Even though half of his evil body was taken away, the remaining half would allow him to make rapid progress. The effect of this cheat is extremely fierce. In just half an hour, the evil monster Yao Yi reached the 13th level of Super God. This time, Huaxian chose to enhance the power of the Thunder Gene. Since the Thunder Gene realm is still at the 60th level of the Pseudo-God John realm and is not yet at the True God level, Huaxian's improvement is a little slower. Fortunately, the Super God level power converted by the Human King has strong compatibility. First, he broke through from the 60th level of the Divine Gene to the True God level, and then soared all the way to the Super God level. In just half an hour, he crossed to major realms and reached the 7th level of Super God. Time passes by every second. When it was almost 150 minutes, Huaxian took off the earrings of the evil monster Yao Yi. The evil monster Yao Yi guessed something and asked, husband, is your spending time coming up? Huaxian nodded and said, yes, how about selling this earring to me? The evil monster Yao Yi smiled and said, okay, it depends on what price you offer, husband. Huaxian smiled and said, how about 60 trillion? Even though the evil monster Yao Yi had been prepared, he was still stunned with shock. He was so excited that his body was shaking and he almost surrendered. She took two deep breaths to suppress her anger, blinked her eyes and asked, husband, are the demons crazy? They actually gave you more and more demon crystals to spend. Huaxian said bitterly, I don't know what's going on. Sell me your earrings now. Well, for the sake of 60 trillion, I will sell you my most legitimate, priceless earrings, and the devil card to Huaxian. Huaxian quickly transferred the money. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 60 trillion demon crystals within 150 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 180 minutes and consume 120 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. Complete the mission and be rewarded with 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments. Even though everyone knew the transfer amount, the evil monster Yao Yi was still shocked when the arrival reminder sounded. 60 trillion demon crystals, as the ancestor of the evil monster clan. He doesn't have so many. After all, the evil monster clan has a large business and high expenses. Hubby, I am so happy to be with you. The evil monster Yao Yi said this happily, and cooperated with Huaxian more tenderly. You can improve your cultivation while enjoying yourself, which is of course a happy thing. At the 3rd hour, the evil monster Yao Yi's cultivation reached the super god level 30. Huaxian is even more powerful, having already reached level 35 of super god. 210.99 trillion human king points are just the tip of the iceberg. Continue to improve. The second consumption time has arrived. Honey, are you selling the other earring? It will make a perfect pair for us. Buy it. I wonder what price my husband will give this time. The evil monster Yao Yi became curious. 120 trillion Yemen crystals. The evil monster Yao Yi took a deep breath. It's so shocking. It doubled directly. She took a deep breath and said, "Husband, if we keep doing this, can we directly become the richest man in the mainland?" Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, "I can only sell it to you twice, but not if you continue. Oh, there are still limits. I was saying, if it keeps going on like this, then it will be disastrous." She took off the earrings and handed them to Huaxian, saying, "Honey, since you've performed well, I'll sell them to you." Huaxian pinched her hard before taking the earrings and transferring the money. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 120 trillion Yemen crystals within 180 minutes, and received 3 lucky draw opportunities and fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit 3 times and consume 360 trillion Yemen crystals within 180 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. Complete the mission and be rewarded with 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments. The two continued their dual cultivation. About an hour later. Buzz. The space trembles. Even in the room, you can see the distortion of space. An extremely terrifying pressure was coming. Interrupted the dual cultivation of Huaxian and the evil monster Yao Yi. There is no need to guess, it is probably the pirate king of the death pirates who has arrived. What made Huaxian feel relieved was that his current lightning gene realm had reached the 40th level of super god. Even the evil monster Yao Yi's realm has reached the 33rd level of super god. The realm of the 3rd level of super god suddenly increased by 30 levels in a few hours. You have to know that this is a surge of 30 levels in the terrifying realm of super god level. The improvement that I never dared to imagine in my dreams has appeared in reality. I just want to say, it's horrible. Husband, the opponent is so strong. Can you defeat him? The evil monster Yao Yi asked worriedly. Huaxian smiled confidently and said, "Don't worry, I can handle it. Let's go and meet that pirate king." System, I wish to win the super god level highest level upgrade ticket. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning a super god level 7th level upgrade coupon. Consuming 10 lottery opportunity fragments. Huaxian was overjoyed. I didn't expect that the level of the lottery ticket would be raised by 2 levels. The key is that this time the lottery was successful. However, with an 80 success rate, the chance of failure is still very low. System, use the upgrade coupon to upgrade the Thunder God Gene realm. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have successfully used the Super God level 7 upgrade voucher to strengthen the Thunder God Gene realm. Your current realm is Super God level 47. But the strength of a Super God at level 47. He finally had the confidence to face the Pirate King Huaxian. Come on deck. Looking up towards the sky, I saw a figure covered in a purple robe. With even the face and eyes covered, floating in the sky. The terrifying aura of the dead spread, shocking the area within a million miles. The first 7 spaceships it seemed to be trapped in the air, without any movement. There are 2 spaceships in the distance. It was an extremely huge ship with a black skull on a white background and a big word king on it. Obviously that was the Pirate King's vehicle. The other spaceship was obviously the spaceship of the baleen whale sea tyrant. It's that human, why don't you get out of here? The Pirate King shouted in a deep voice. The carrier of the incomparably powerful Anid Super God Gene power caused the space to be distorted severely. The roar made countless creatures tremble with fear in their bones and souls. Looking around, they were all kneeling on the deck. Chapter 574, How could this happen? Huaxian took off into the air and flew high into the sky. Suddenly, all the pressure from the Pirate King began to gather towards Huaxian. Huaxian felt the pressure on him increasing. In the end, all the pressure was concentrated on him. The people on the spacecraft breathed a sigh of relief and dared to look up into the sky. When they saw Huaxian withstanding the pressure from the Pirate King without any discomfort, they were all stunned. It became clear in my mind that this human was indeed a super powerful being at the level of a Pirate King. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly stared at Huaxian's peerless figure with her eyes blurred, realizing that she had made a mistake. This human being can simply be described as horrible. So is his endless supply of demon crystals really a mission given to him by a powerful demon? Why would the demons allow such a monster of the human race to exist? The only answer is that Huaxian has nothing to do with the demon clan. Well, this guy has a big secret. Huaxian flew to the same height as the Pirate King. Although he was a little lower than his opponent, Huaxian's attributes in all aspects were too strong, plus various combat power enhancements, so he did not feel any pressure at all. The Pirate King looked at Huaxian with his completely closed head. He didn't say anything but seemed to be observing me. If the space between the two had not been distorted, everyone would have thought that they were just good friends looking at each other. A full 3 minutes. The other party asked in a hoarse voice. What is your purpose in conquering my pirate group? From the hoarse voice, Huaxian had already determined that the other person was a woman. As for why she covered herself so tightly, it was probably because she had some unspeakable secret. He smiled and said, I didn't subdue your pirate group. They robbed me and I was subdued by them. And how do you explain killing one of my generals? Huaxian smiled and said, the other party made a bet with me. A bet of his life. If he dies, I will die. What is there to explain? You seem to think you are my opponent? Huaxian always had a confident smile on his face. It's not a belief, it's confidence. And let's fight for 2 moves. If you can survive in my hands, you can leave. What if you lose? Huaxian asked. The other party was stunned. Then he taunted. Do you know that I am at the 51st level of Super God? As for you, although I cannot see through your cultivation, it is definitely not above the 50th level of Super God. In the path of cultivation, the difference of a small realm will also make a huge difference. Moreover, you checked my big realm. How can you still be confident now? Huaxian smiled and said, that being said, what you said is just the norm. There are so many monsters in the world, although I am not a very powerful monster. Defeating an opponent of a higher level is as easy as eating and drinking water for me. Arrogant, then do you dare to tell me your true level of cultivation? What good will it do me if I tell you? Benefits? What benefits do you want? Do you want me to leave your body intact later? How about this in exchange? I tell you my realm and you tell me your name. Is that too much? Dead souls will never live. The other party said directly. Dead Soul Jusheng, what a cruel name. Remember, my name is Huaxian, and I am at the 47th level of Super God. This. Ziyuan Huairan and the others took a deep breath when they heard Huaxian report his realm. I didn't expect that my man would reach such a terrifying level of Super God. No wonder he is always so confident. Zhen Fengyan, I said in a deep voice. This guy has really been acting all along. It seems that he has been eyeing me again for a long time. He is such a playboy. Super God level 47. Today I will let you understand the difference between Super God level 47 and Super God level 51. Once you finish talking, you have to take action. Huaxian shouted. Wait. Why? Do you have any last words? Huaxian smiled and said. In addition to liking beautiful women, I also like to make a small bet. Do you dare to make a bet with me? Bet? I heard that this is how you won my pirate group away. Huaxian laughed shamelessly. Strength? I always win by strength. What do you want to bet with me? Simple, you and I fight. If I lose, you can do whatever you want of me. If you lose, you have to follow me, okay? All eyes were fixed on the dead spirit Jusheng. After a while, the other party said, okay. Then start. I'll give you a chance to strike, otherwise, you won't have a chance. Huaxian smiled and said, if we fight here, I'm afraid we will be defeated by WS Hangdao. Let's go up there. Under everyone's shocked gaze, it flew straight into the sky. From afar, lightning flashes in the sky from time to time. Huaxian was not afraid of this, but was very happy. As a person at the Super God gene level of the Thunder system, this is like adding wings to a tiger for him. Is your husband crazy? That's the Thundercloud layer. Legend has it that if you can pass through the Thundercloud layer, you can go to the Divine Realm. This shows how terrifying the Thundercloud layer is. We are not crazy, just wait and see. Our husbands are the best. That's right, our husband is invincible. Although he said this, he was actually very worried. Dead Spirit Jusheng frowned as he watched Huaxian disappear into the clouds. As an innate creature, lightning has an absolute perceivous power over her. He soon realized that the reason why this guy dared to challenge him was because he knew that thunder and lightning had absolute suppression on him. With a cold smile, he rushed towards the thundercloud. I thought there might be suppression, but you are only at the 47th level of Super God. And this gap is definitely not something that can be narrowed by Lei Yun's suppression of me. In the thundercloud, the rolling thunder and lightning seemed to have consciousness, sensing the intrusion of a living creature, and swarmed towards Huaxian in dense masses. Boom boom. Huaxian did not dodge or evade, allowing the lightning to strike him. In an instant, he turned into a thunder and lightning man. The powerful force of thunder and lightning caused Huaxian's hair to explode, turning him into an unmainstream style. The dead spirit Jusheng rushed into the clouds and just happened to see this scene. Extremely shocking. He was particularly shocked to notice that Huaxian did not mobilize his genetic power to resist the lightning. Is this guy crazy? It turns out that this opponent is probably not a normal creature. Boom boom. The dense thunder and lightning also discovered the Undead Zhusheng and rushed towards her fiercely and densely. Boom. The Undead soul burst out with absolute strength to resist the thunder and lightning. Die. And rushed towards Huaxian. I just want to end the battle as quickly as possible. Step into the air. Huaxian rushed towards the depths of the thundercloud. The deeper you go, the denser the lightning becomes. And the more powerful it becomes. Each bolt of lightning is enough to kill a first or second level super god level strongman. You can see how terrifying this is. Huaxian's body was covered with lightning and thunder. As if he was the god of thunder, which made even the Undead spirit stunned. It was just because she still hadn't felt Huaxian's burst of genetic power to resist the fierce lightning. It was as if these lightning strikes did not cause any harm to him at all. So. Chapter 575, Retreat Without a Fight. At this time, Huaxian looked down and said, "Why, you think you are so powerful, but you don't even have the courage to approach me?" The Undead Zhusheng roared angrily. "You know that lightning has a great suppression on us innate creatures. So you dare to be so arrogant, right? However, today you will let you know that in the face of absolute strength, your little tricks are useless." He burst out at extreme speed and rushed towards Huaxian. However, due to the influence of lightning, its effectiveness is still greatly reduced. Huaxian King Maya looked at her worriedly, waiting for her to approach. Step into the air. Rushing upwards again. Damn it. The Undead Zhusheng roared, and this time he didn't stop and chased after him regardless of everything. The two went deeper and deeper into the clouds. The clouds are becoming fewer and fewer. And the thunder and lightning are becoming more and more fierce. Any lightning that appears now can kill a super god level 10 existence. Thousands and tens of thousands of them fell on one person. It can be imagined that even a super god at level 50 would not feel comfortable. What's more, the Undead creatures themselves are suppressed by lightning. So the situation of the dead souls being extinct is very bad. On the other hand, Huaxian, although his hair was blown and his whole body was charred, he looked like nothing happened. At this time, Huaxian even put away his ultimate charm suit. He was naked and allowed lightning to strike him. The dead spirit looked up from the bottom and saw the thing that Huaxian shouldn't have seen at first glance. Furious, "Damn human race, how dare you blaspheme me like this? I must kill you." Because Huaxian was on top and exposing that thing. In the eyes of dead spirit Zhusheng, it was a humiliation to her. He was so angry that he rushed towards Huaxian regardless of everything. He had only one thought in mind, which was to tear him into pieces. Huaxian felt the changes in the Undead Zhusheng and was a little confused. "I thought, why are you so angry all of a sudden? Run upwards quickly. Lowly human, I will make you live a life worse than death." The Undead Zhusheng burst into pursuit and killed without any regard for anything. Boom boom. The power of thunder and lightning is becoming more and more terrifying. Even a super god at level 20 wouldn't dare to step into the area where they are now. Booming magnet. The Undead's defense finally showed a flaw. The purple robe on his body was struck by lightning, and burst out with a terrifying purple light. As Huaxian ran away, he looked down and saw the situation of the Undead. She was so happy that she didn't even have to do anything herself. If she continued to advance this deep, she would be defeated in no time. I am curious about what kind of face is under the purple robe. He didn't realize that being naked was just being a hooligan. I secretly exclaimed, the strengthening effect of being struck by lightning without clothes is indeed much better. Looking at the half-step destruction thunder body that evolved from the K's thunder body, which is becoming more and more perfect, he is in a very good mood. If I continue like this, I believe it won't be long before I can completely enter the realm of destruction thunder body. Lowly human, if you have the guts, don't run away. The Undead Zhusheng couldn't catch up for a long time and roared in anger. Huaxian replied with a smile, running away is also a manifestation of combat effectiveness. If you can't catch up with me, it only means that you are not as good as me. Lowly, damned human, if you have the guts, don't stay in the thundercloud. Come fight me in the Undead Abyss. Huaxian said cheerfully. Okay, I'll go to the Undead Abyss with you if I have the chance. The dead spirit Zhusheng, Huaxian seemed extremely arrogant, which made him even more angry. Boom. It was as if some seal had been lifted. And the cultivation level of the dead spirit Zhusheng continued to rise. In the blink of an eye, he surpassed the 60th level of super god. Such a scene frightened Huaxian so much that he was stunned. What kind of method is this to instantly reach a higher realm? The speed of the Undead's extinction reached its extreme. Step into the air. Huaxian ran away subconsciously. But it was still too late. Soon he was caught up by the other side. Damn human, you made me break the seal, go to hell. The terrifying pressure from the explosion made Huaxian almost unable to control himself. Shocked to the extreme. I have to admit that the realm of Super God level 60 is truly terrifying. The thunder attraction technique. Huaxian finally took action. Actively induced the arrival of thunder and lightning. Boom boom. The surrounding lightning and thunder instantly gathered towards Huaxian's body. And there were even more ferocious lightning and thunder swarming towards him from the sky. In such a cloud filled with thunder and lightning, the power of the lightning attracting technique increased to an indescribable level. In an instant, Huaxian was completely engulfed by lightning. The endless power of thunder and lightning was still rushing towards him. Almost in the blink of an eye, Huaxian's lightning within a 3-meter range seemed to become real. Huaxian himself was stunned. Under such circumstances, the lightning gene realm of the Super God level 47 actually made rapid progress. After the shock, Huaxian finally realized the horror of the thunder attracting technique. The 48th level of Super God was reached in the blink of an eye. Still improving madly. Not far away, the undead Zhu Sheng, who had broken the seal and rushed in front of Huaxian, resisted the lightning that terrified him and looked at Huaxian, who was completely wrapped by the lightning into a 3-meter long ball. I actually didn't know how to start. Her intuition told her that if she forcefully attacked this terrifying ball of lightning, it would probably cause an explosion. Once the explosion occurs, there will be no time for me to escape if I am struck by such lightning. I will probably die here. While I was angry inside, I was more shocked. This guy is obviously a human being. Why does he ignore the lightning? Would he be a human disguised as a member of the Thunder Clan? What should I do? Will this guy die in there? I hope Huaxian will be struck to death. After hesitating for a long time, I decided to wait aside. Time passes by every second. In 5 minutes, the lightning gene realm reached the 49th level of Super God. After 10 minutes, the Thunder Super God gene realm broke through a major realm and reached the 50-level Super God. You know, this is a great realm. It as if there are no obstacles and you can break through it easily. Huaxian himself was extremely shocked. This was more refreshing than dual cultivation or system upgrade scrolls. Next, there was a new realm every 3 minutes. Another half an hour passed, and he directly reached the Super God level 60. Roar. Just when Huaxian was thinking about further improvement, there was a roar coming from the sky. This roar reaches the soul, giving people a feeling of being annihilated. Oh no, no. Soul Thunder Dragon, the dead spirit Zhu Sheng exclaimed, glanced at the thunder ball that wrapped Huaxian, and fled downwards. Huaxian also felt an extremely strong sense of crisis. Let him understand that the owner of the roar is definitely not someone he can provoke. Give up the use of the thunder attracting technique immediately. The improvement of cultivation gradually stopped. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the Destruction Thunder Body has reached level 1. A Lightning Super God Gene realm has been raised by 10 levels. And the lightning combat power has increased by 100 million times. At the moment when the Thunder Body was destroyed, Huaxian felt a devastating lightning force erupting in his body. The Lightning Gene realm, which was already at the 60-level Super God, instantly soared to the 70-level Super God. Roar! There was no time to rejoice, because the owner of the dangerous roar was getting closer and closer. Huaxian felt like his soul was about to break apart. And he was dizzy and in great pain. It was extremely shocking. What kind of thunder creature was that had such a terrifying roar? Quickly escape downwards. You lowly human race, go to hell. Unexpectedly, he encountered a sneak attack by the undead Zhu Sheng. Chapter 576, Hit by Soul Lightning. Facing the fatal blow, Huaxian still looked on calmly. This scene made the dead spirit Zhu Sheng unable to understand what was going on. Wait until her sword gets close. Huaxian slowly reached out his hand and casually caught her sword. Then pulled gently. The undead Zhu Sheng, who was holding the hilt of the sword tightly, didn't notice and was pulled over by Huaxian. Then he was held in Huaxian's arms. Only at this time did the dead spirit Zhu Sheng react and screamed in horror. This was the first time since she was a child that she was hugged by a man. A human being she hated. However, he was so frightened that he forgot to disguise his voice. The scream that sounded like the sound of an angel made Huaxian stunned. Judging from the sound, the undead extinction is not simple at all. The other hand involuntarily reached out for the mask of the undead Zhu Sheng. Oh, lowly, evil, shameless human race, please let me go. Let me go. The undead Zhu Sheng roared angrily. Huaxian just burst out his cultivation level slightly and suppressed her completely. And Zhu Sheng felt this terrifying pressure and was shocked to the extreme. He cursed in his heart, "You lowly human, you actually lied to me. You are at least at the 70th level of Super God, but you actually lied to me and said you were at the 47th level of Super God. Damn it, it's too damned." Unable to struggle, she could only watch Huaxian take off her veil. revealing a face full of models. Hu Xian was stunned. Dead Spirit Jusheng glared at Hu Xian and shouted, "Are you satisfied now?" Hu Xian smiled and said, "Satisfied. However, from the moment you aroused my curiosity, you are mine, so no matter what you look like, you will be mine for the rest of your life." Hearing this, Dead Spirit Jusheng was stunned. It took me a long time to recover. After 3 full minutes, he looked into Hu Xian's eyes in disbelief and asked, "You mean, you don't mind my ugliness, and you still want me to be your woman?" Hu Xian nodded seriously and said, "Yes, that's what I mean." Boom! The powerful divine might burst out, shattering the purple robe that had covered the Dead Spirit Jusheng for who knows how many years. A perfect body caught Hu Xian's eyes. The only drawback is that her face is covered with maki. Hu Xian's chaos-level medical skills burst out, wanting to give him all the time. I noticed that her face suddenly became misty, as if she was intentionally hiding something and didn't want anyone to see through it. Now it seems that the identity of the Dead Spirit Jusheng is not simple. Seeing Hu Xian looking at his face and gradually frowning, Dead Spirit Jusheng asked coldly, "Why, you just said you didn't dislike me. But now you do?" Hu Xian reacted and said with a wry smile, "No, I know some medical skills when I looked at your face. The more carefully I looked at it, something like clouds and mist appeared, blocking something and preventing me from seeing through it." "You have the same feeling?" asked Dead Spirit Jusheng in surprise. "Well, are other people like this too?" Hu Xian asked. "No, other people think I am ugly, disgusting. Only one miracle doctor thought so after seeing me. She said that although I am ugly, I am definitely not simple." Hu Xian nodded and said, "Yes, you are very extraordinary." "Really? You said you don't dislike me, you said I'm your woman, right?" "Yes, that's right." As soon as Hu Xian finished answering, the Dead Spirit Jusheng bit his mouth hard. Roar! Buzz! The two of them fainted instantly and fell down. If they looked back, they would see an almost transparent thunder dragon appearing there, watching them fall angrily. It seems that it is not enough. He spit out 2 more bolts of lightning at them. Boom! The creatures around only heard 2 explosions and could not see the 2 transparent lightning bolts striking Hu Xian and his group. That is, only then did everyone see Hu Xian and the Dead Spirit Jusheng falling down. Just at this moment, Hu Xian and Dead Spirit Jusheng both let out screams of extreme pain. It was obviously the pain caused by being struck by the invisible lightning. This pain reaches the soul. Because of the excessive pain, blood flowed from all 7 orifices of the Yi Jusheng. Hu Xian was better, but there was blood at the corner of his mouth. However, the soul lightning did not disappear. It still remains in the body, causing constant damage to the soul consciousness. Although Hu Xian's soul was very powerful, he felt extremely uncomfortable, and was suddenly extremely worried about the extinction of the Indeed. Ding, discovered, Soul West Lightning Power. Do you want to refine and strengthen the soul? Refining. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have refined the soul lightning to strengthen the soul. Due to the unlimited strengthening permission, there is no consumption. I felt the power of the injured soul begin to rise. The injuries healed quickly and the speed of improvement suddenly skyrocketed. Super God Level 1, Super God Level 2, Super God Level 3. Until Super God Level 30 it was finally refined. Hu Xian was shocked to the extreme. What kind of creature was that? Just a soul lightning attack made his soul surge to the 30th level of Super God. It's so horrible. Oh, right, Death of the Dead? How could a creature suppressed by lightning withstand such a terrifying soul attack? When I looked at the Dead Spirit Jusheng, I found that she was suspended in the air, and her whole body was enveloped by a mysterious and undetectable force. Surrounded by clouds and fog, one could only see a spherical object from the outside and could not see what was inside at all. Hu Xian was shocked. Could it be that the soul lightning triggered the secret on the face of the Yi Jusheng? Everyone on the spaceship looked on in shock. The true Phoenix Flame Butterfly flew to Hu Xian and asked, "What's going on?" Hu Xian took her in his arms and said, "It was originally a disaster, but now it seems to be her opportunity." You took her down?" Hu Xian nodded and said, "That's right. You are really awesome. She is at least at the 50 level Super God realm. Her true realm is Super God level 60. True Phoenix Flame Butterfly took a deep breath in shock. I originally thought that I was at the peak of my abilities at this age. Not only did Hu Xian show up, but now there is also the Yi Jusheng. It seems that in such a big world, what it has the most is monsters and geniuses. Seeing that the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly was fine when it flew to Hu Xian, many powerful people flew up and looked at it closely. Seeing someone still approaching, Hu Xian said coldly, "If you want to die, keep getting closer." These people trembled and quickly stepped back. Aline Wailhab stared at Hu Xian and asked, "Do you know what happened to our king?" Huaxian glanced at him and said, I know you're king and I fought for 30 rounds, and then. Just what? Everyone became curious. Huaxian smiled playfully and said, she's pregnant. What? The whole audience was stunned. And he was speechless. They still covered their mouths and laughed, secretly with evil resentment. I have become accustomed to Huaxian's fickleness, and I understand that this is just the kind of person he is. There is no reason for jealousy at all. I thought to myself, who told me not to leave this playboy? Click, click. The mysterious sphere that enveloped the Aeneid suddenly broke. A dangerous atmosphere enveloped the entire place. Chapter 577, Flying. Huaxian shouted, everyone, hurry back to the spaceship and get away from here. The farther the better. In response to Huaxian's words, Ziyuan and the others retreated without any doubt. Seeing this, the pirates who had defected to Huaxian also quickly retreated. In the end, only the spaceship of the dead soul Jusheng and the spaceship of Zhu Jin Hai Gang did not leave. Seeing that the true Phoenix Flame Butterfly was still at the scene, Huaxian said, wife, you should leave quickly too. The latter rolled his eyes and said, don't yell, I'm not your wife. But he still obeyed and left. Huaxian himself also walked away into the distance. There was no way to persuade the baleen whale sea overlord and the others. Someone looked at him and asked, General Zhu, it looks like it's really dangerous. Should we retreat? Click, click, click. The cracks on the sphere became more and more dense. And it looked like it was about to break completely. The dangerous Sora became stronger and stronger. Retreat. Retreat quickly. The baleen whale tyrant finally panicked and roared while retreating quickly. But it was too late. Boom. There was a loud bang. The sphere exploded. The terrifying pressure caused the space within a radius of hundreds of miles to instantly distort and shatter. Everything within the range, including the waters of the Sea of Death, was swallowed up by the void. The creatures in it were destroyed by the space the moment it was broken. The two spaceships in range disappeared instantly, and no creatures on them survived. The pirates who followed Huaxian's advice and retreated far away to avoid everything were all extremely grateful. Fortunately, I listened to this human and retreated. Otherwise I would have died without knowing how I died. Boom! There was another explosion. A huge evil humanoid creature appeared in everyone's sight. The creature exuded an aura of destruction, and Huaxian felt like he was suffocating under it. Retreat! Everyone continued to retreat. Huaxian shouted. There's no way, it's too dangerous. The creature appeared in front of Huaxian in an instant. She stared down at him and said, my man, what are you afraid of? Huaxian was stunned. The next moment, the monster began to shrink, getting smaller and smaller, and finally turned into a human. Huaxian looked at the familiar figure in front of him. It was none other than the dead spirit Jusheng. However, her face was no longer ugly, but extremely beautiful. However, only Huaxian could see her face clearly, while everyone else only saw a blurry mosaic. I couldn't see her face clearly at all. Gurgle. Huaxian was so shocked by the extraordinary beauty of the dead woman, that he swallowed his saliva and swore that this was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. No other. Head spirit Jusheng smiled and asked, husband, do you feel like you've made a fortune? That smile made Huaxian lose his mind. It took a long time to react. The dead spirit Jusheng had a smile on his face and was not in a hurry. He just watched Huaxian patiently and waited. After a full quarter of an hour, Huaxian reacted and asked in shock, dead soul Jusheng, is it really you? Even if I recognized the other person, I still couldn't believe it. That spirit Jusheng smiled and said, that's me. Gurgle. Huaxian swallowed his saliva again and asked, Pyth, what realm are you in now? Dead soul Jusheng approached Huaxian's ear and said, God King. S. Huaxian took a deep breath and became the God King. He couldn't even imagine how terrifying the King of Gods must be. Hubby, what's wrong? Are you scared? Huaxian gradually got used to it and said with a bitter smile, if you were my enemy, I would be terrified, but you are my wife. I feel very happy, and I can eat gigolo rice from now on. The dead spirit was stunned. After a while, he asked, you seem to be a gigolo? Yes, soft rice is so delicious. If you want to be my freeloader, then I'll see if you can satisfy me. Holding Huaxian, he waved his hand and opened a stable hole in the void. Under the shocked gazes of countless people, he rushed into the void and the hole was instantly restored. The people at the scene were stunned. After a while, Ziyuan still asked the others, is my husband in danger? The evil spirit Yizu said, sister, what are you thinking about? Didn't you hear that beautiful lady calling us husband? I'm a little impressed by our husband now, he can handle such a terrifying woman. Yuan still felt uncomfortable when he heard what the evil spirit Yizu said before. He felt that his former mother had become a sister, and he couldn't adapt to it for a while. In the void, Huaxian's clothes exploded. Huaxian was even more shocked. You know, that is the ultimate charm suit rewarded by the system. It couldn't withstand the Indeed's life-threatening power and exploded. The dead spirit Jusheng looked at Hu Xian's face with a smile, then looked down. Finally, he grabbed Hu Xian's treasure and said, "You used this thing to blaspheme me before, now wait and see how I punish him." The clothes on his body disappeared, revealing an indescribable perfect body with infinite charm, which made Hu Xian lose his mind. The whole process was completely unresponsive. Until one barrier was broken through, the system's voice sounded. "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have taken the first drop of blood of the God King level Great Destroyer, and received a cultivation reward. With the highest cultivation level increased by 30 levels, you have obtained 3 pieces of the Heroine System Repair Fragments." The Lightning Gene Super God Realm, that had just soared to level 70, suddenly soared by 30 levels to reach level 100. Hu Xian was so shocked that he was stunned. The feeling was indescribable. "I never dreamed that I would be taken away by a woman. I felt like I was only one step away from the unattainable level of God King. No, it should be only half a step. The improvement in strength is even more terrifying." Looking at the Indeed Jusheng who was bullying him, he felt that if he exerted all his strength, he could blow her to pieces with one punch. "I never expected that she would bring me such a terrifying opportunity. Look at the 3 more pictures of the Heroine System Repair Fragments. Plus the previous 5, there are 8 in total. If you collect all 9 cards, you can repair the Heroine System, but you only need 1 card. It is not difficult to obtain the items in this chapter. You can get them by making a wish and drawing a lottery. You can also get at least 1 by completing the task of leading the future heroine to the Island of Death." Responding to the joy brought by the great harvest, Hu Xian looked at the dead spirit Jusheng, his eyes full of tenderness and admiration. "It's not just because of her beauty. I feel that this woman is my lucky star and deserves my love." Dead spirit Jusheng saw all the changes in Hu Xian, and when he saw that he had adapted, he asked in surprise, "Husband, what did you get from me? Your cultivation has skyrocketed to the peak of the super god level in an instant. Right? I feel like your combat power is not even lower than mine." Hu Xian smiled brightly and said, "Wife, what else is there?" "Of course, it's your first drop of blood." "First blood? Is it that powerful?" "It may not seem impressive to others, but it is impressive to me." "And how are you going to thank me?" "Of course I will promise you my body." Hu Xian took the initiative. The Undead will never lose. Both of them went crazy. The void is their bed and stars dotted around, creating a very satisfying atmosphere. Chapter 578. Unexpected Gains. The sound of enthusiastic applause rang in the ears of the two. They were both frightened and quickly hugged each other to prevent their privacy from being leaked. Only then did he look towards the place where the applause came from. It was a creature of indescribable size, with 2 eyes that were like planets. "Why does this look like a cat?" Hu Xian muttered doubtfully. Dead spirit Jusheng nodded and said, "It does look like a cat. It's just that this is the first time I've seen a cat this big." Meow. A cat's meow came from Hu Xian's shoulder. The demonized Cafe Thiel cat was summoned by him. Meow. But who would have thought that the supergiant cat would also meow? The terrifying sound waves rippled in the void, causing dense cracks to appear in the space. As if the void was about to collapse. It can be seen how terrifying the cat's cry is. The demonized coffee cat actually rushed towards the other party. Hu Xian was just about to worry. I saw that the giant cat was shrinking visibly. By the time the demonized coffee cat approached him, he had become the same size as the demonized coffee cat. The 2 cats were hugging each other and seemed very intimate. A full half hour. The demonized coffee cat came out with the scary little black cat. Hu Xian and dead spirit Jusheng had already put on their clothes and were looking at him curiously. "I didn't expect this big cat to be so cute after becoming a little cat." Dead spirit Jusheng couldn't help but say. "I even wanted to reach out and touch this little black cat." Hu Xian quickly stopped him. "This thing can shatter the void with just a roar. It is extremely powerful, so don't touch it." The next moment, a demonized coffee cat pulled him to Hu Xian's shoulder. Just when Hu Xian was confused, a dark gray light emerged from the heads of these little black cats and went directly into Hu Xian's forehead. When dead spirit Jusheng saw this scene, he was stunned with shock. "Ding, the god-level void cat begs to recognize you as its master. After recognizing you as its master, you can gain a 1,000,000,000 times increase in combat power. Do you agree to recognize you as its master?" Hu Xian was stunned and shocked. A god-level void cat? It took the initiative to recognize its master? What is particularly shocking is the 1,000,000,000,000-fold increase in combat power. Of course, there is a huge gap between them. Starting from the God King, followed by the God Emperor, God Lord, and then the God Lord. The gap between each major realm is a huge chasm. From this perspective, a 1,000,000,000,000-fold increase does not seem to be that much. Looking at the demonized coffee cat, I think the reason why this god-level void cat recognized him as its master was because of him. I just don't know what the reason is that the god-level void cat and the seemingly ordinary demonized coffee field cat have such a good relationship. Looking closely, they look more like a couple. Couple? Could it be that the demonized coffee field cat is a female? Huaxian suddenly thought of this. Master, I am a female. A voice suddenly sounded in Huaxian's mind. Huaxian was shocked. It took me a while to react. I agree to recognize the Lord. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have gained the recognition of the god-level void cat as your master. And have gained a trillion-fold increase in combat power. Ding, because the host's realm is too low, his body and soul are too weak to withstand a 1 trillion times increase in combat power. Seal 900 and gain a 10 billion times increase in combat power. Even if it was 10 billion times, Huaxian felt an extremely powerful force instantly invading every cell in his body. And even his genes were strengthened. Every move he makes has the power to destroy the world. I've adapted to it and I'm ecstatic. I didn't expect to have such an opportunity. I'm so happy. Honey, what's wrong with you? Looking at Huaxian with a silly smile on his face, Dead Spirit Jushang asked worriedly. I thought, could it be that I have been possessed by this strange black cat? It's okay, let's go back. Huaxian took her and left. The demonic coffee cat and the void cat entered the pet space. Honey, what realm is that cat in? God Lord level. Is. Having awakened the inherited and Yi Jusheng, he understood better than Huaxian the horror of the higher realms. The God Lord level, in her inherited memory, is also a terrifying and invincible existence. It is an existence that ordinary creatures cannot reach. However, such a being actually recognized her man as its master. Is it true that he was not possessed? Husband, are you really my husband? He asked doubtfully. Huaxian smiled and said, what are you thinking about? If I'm not your husband, then who am I? He also understood the dead spirit Jusheng's worries and explained with a smile. Let me tell you, my pet demonized coffee cat is a female cat. This void cat was fascinated by my female cat, so it recognized me as its master. Now the two of them may be reproducing in the pet space. And Yi Jusheng was stunned when he heard this. Then she looked at Huaxian with envy. Hubby, you are really lucky you have encountered such a curious thing. I have to thank you, my wife, if you hadn't brought me to this void. I wouldn't have such good fortune. I love you. I'm glad you know that. You have to treat me well in the future. That's a must. But it's a bit regrettable. What's the regret? Our good time has been interrupted. I haven't. While he was talking, his hands were already becoming restless. Stop it. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. There are so many people waiting outside. The two returned to the surface of the Sea of Death. Everyone's eyes were focused on him. Honey, are you okay? Ziyuan still looked at Huaxian worriedly and asked. Huaxian hugged the dead soul Jusheng and said in a good mood. What can I do? Everyone get on the spaceship, it's time to set off. Everyone was confused, but since Huaxian didn't say anything, they didn't dare to ask. After all, everyone still remembers the aura she displayed before. They each returned to the spaceship and set off for the Island of Death. Wife, have you ever been to the Island of the Dead? Huaxian asked the dead spirit Jusheng. The latter shook his head and said, they have never been to the real Death Island. Even the spaceship used by the Ziyuan clan military on your continent to escort criminal only flew to a transit island. Jiu said, that's right, every time we escort criminals, our destination is the transit island. There will be people from Death Island picking up the criminals at the transfer island. Anyone else who wants to go to Death Island will need to transfer at the transfer island. It is said that you can't go to the Island of the Dead whenever you want. There are many restrictions and requirements, but I'm not sure what they are. Huaxian nodded and said, so this Island of Death is really mysterious. Dead Spirit Jusheng said, it's more than just mysterious. Everyone on the boat that came to pick us up is ridiculously strong. Besides, except for the people from Death Island, no one who went there has ever returned. That's why we call their place the Island of Death. I also learned by chance that it seems to be called the true continent. Real continent? In other words, the continent on the Red Moon star is fake? Or, in the eyes of people on the real continent, this is an island? Huaxian asked in surprise. Dead Spirit Jusheng said. Maybe that's the case. Aren't you going to go there? You'll know when you get there. Chapter 579, The Sea Tribe Army. Huaxian became very curious about the Island of Death. 2 hours later. Ding, consumption task countdown. 605,958. Why Yuan, sell me your pendant. When Ziyuan heard this, he understood that it was time for Huaxian's consumption task to be completed. He quickly took off the pendant and handed it to Huaxian. Huaxian transferred the money to him immediately. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have consumed 360 trillion Reliant Eamon crystals within 180 minutes and obtained 3 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 200 minutes and consume 720 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. Complete the mission and be rewarded with 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments. After receiving the information about the arrival of the money, Ziyuan was still stunned with shock. Hubby, isn't this too much? The evil spirit Yizu asked curiously. How much did your husband transfer to you? The others also listened curiously. 360 trillion. What? They all looked at Huaxian in disbelief. Huaxian smiled bitterly and opened the deposit of the Black Devil card and said, more next time. 720 trillion. Ziyuan was still stuttering and muttering. So scary. Husband, is this really the task given to you by the demon clan? Asked the evil spirit Yizu. Huaxian smiled and said, I never said that this was a task given to me by the demons. Then this. Okay, you just need to know that if I don't complete the consumption within the specified time, I will be wiped out. Then husband, you should cultivate a few more clones. Even if you are wiped out in the future, you can still be resurrected through the clones. Defei said. Huaxian nodded and said, yes. Boom. Suddenly, huge waves thousands of feet high appeared on the sea ahead. Huge waves were rolling, and upon closer inspection, one could see countless sea creatures on them. What's going on? Huaxian asked, puzzled. Lai. Achijuj, you said, this is the Sea Clan. We usually need to pay a toll of what Reliant Eamon crystals to pass through them. I just don't understand why they made such a big fuss this time. Originally, Achijuj was planning to go and ask what was going on. But who would have thought that the leader of the Sea Tribe would directly give the order to attack? This scared a lot of people. Huaxian took a step forward and appeared above the Sea Clan army. Looking around, the densely packed Sea Clan army is probably no less than 1 million in number. The most crucial point is that the lowest level of cultivation is true god level 50. It can be seen that this army is the elite among the sea people. Buzz. The space rumbled, and Huaxian burst out with the super strong pressure of the 99th level of the super god, suppressing the army of sea creatures that were rushing towards the spaceship like anger. Under the terrifying pressure, the Sea Clan army stopped in their tracks for an instant. With expressions of extreme fear on their faces, everyone had a horrified thought in their hearts. How could there be such terrifying and powerful people on these spaceships? Huaxian asked coldly, give me a reason not to kill you. Otherwise. Thunderous. With a wave of his hand, the terrifying power of thunder and lightning spread over an area of 1,000 miles. The lightning in the high-altitude clouds seemed to be attracted. And the thunder clouds were also surging. The next moment, it was intertwined with the thunder and lightning outburst from Huaxian. This caused the terrifying pressure, which was already as powerful as the 99th level of the super god, to instantly surpass the super god level and enter the realm of the God King. Under such terrifying pressure, let alone the sea creatures, even though there was evil resentment, they were still terrified to the extreme. I didn't expect that my husband actually possessed such terrifying lightning genetic power. No wonder he rushed directly into the clouds before. The evil spirit Yizu muttered in shock. My husband is so strong. I feel like he is becoming more and more unfamiliar. Will he abandon us? Don't think too much. My husband, who is so ordinary, didn't abandon me, so he will definitely not abandon us. Defei said. I clenched my fists and muttered firmly in my heart that my husband would never abandon us. The mighty army of the Sea Clan thought they could easily crush these spaceships. But they didn't expect that they would be suppressed by such a terrifying strongman as soon as they made a move. They all knelt in the sea, their hearts close to collapse. Life and death are all in the other person's hands. How can you not be afraid? Leading the group was a whale warrior, but judging from his appearance, it seemed that his genetic evolution had not been fully completed. It has human hands and feet, but its body still retains almost the characteristics of a whale. He said to Huaxian, trembling, Lai, sir, it's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. We have identified the wrong enemy. Identify the wrong enemy? If we were weak, wouldn't we have already become the dead souls under your sword? Since you recognized the wrong person, then I accidentally made a mistake and killed you all? That should be fine, right? Boom boom. Terrifying thunder fell from the sky. No matter what realm the opponent is at, as long as he is not at the level of a god king, he feels that any random thunder pill can kill him. Stop it, we attacked because we saw the symbol of the Black Skull Pirates. The pirates are evil and we want to destroy them. Next to the whale leader, there was a small whale. He was smaller than other sea creatures, but had a human head and was quite beautiful. She roared at Huaxian. That resolute look showed that even if you killed me, our goal would not change. Huaxian looked at her. The other sea creatures were terrified to the extreme. Huaxian asked, "What hatred makes you sea people hate the Black Skull Pirates so much?" "The Black Skull Pirates have committed all kinds of evil, killing countless of our sea tribe members and inhumanly torturing our sea women. Our sea tribe and mermaid tribe are almost exterminated." "Mermaid?" Huaxian muttered. A mermaid came out angrily. "That's right, I am the only one left in our mermaid tribe." Huaxian's eyes lit up. The mermaid group looks like the merman tribe, but not entirely, because the merman tribe does not have such beautiful and perfect temperament. Huaxian nodded at her, looked at Dead Soul Jusheng and asked, "Wife, is this true?" Dead Spirit Jusheng rolled his eyes and said, "I've been practicing all day, how would I know?" Then he looked at the pirate leaders and asked angrily, "What's going on?" These leaders all trembled in fear. Haichao King said, "Haichao Lazai and I don't have this hobby, and we don't allow our subordinates to do this." The Yendi's gaze fell on He and Pengjun. Xia Guan Shishi, Dniuwud and Crab King He. Among them, He and Pengjun is the younger brother of He and Pengji who was killed by Huaxian. After He and Pengji died, Spacecraft No. 3 was temporarily handed over to him. Crab King He hurriedly said, "I am also a member of the Sea Tribe. I will never bully my own kind." Shrimp meddled in other people's business and said, "Although I like the beauties of the Sea Tribe, they are all their resources, and I will be responsible for them. Wise, don't you agree?" Several beauties from various tribes of the sea race came out and said, "Husband did not force us, we can testify to this." He and Pengji's face was pale without a trace of blood. The Earth Bull is invincible, which is almost the same. Chapter 580, I just wanna eat them. The Dead Spirit Jusheng's face suddenly turned gloomy and murderous intent burst out. A terrifying aura was spreading. The sea people were extremely shocked. "I didn't expect that this was another extremely terrifying existence. It's unbelievable that the Death Pirates are so terrifying. Except for Pirate Ship No. Then Pirate Ship No. 3. The rest of the ships will retreat. Stand back. Stand back." The persons in charge of each spacecraft quickly gave orders. "King, please spare us, we know we were wrong and we won't do it again." Dniuwudi and Peng Jun took the lead and knelt on the deck to beg for mercy. "Spare my life, when you almost wiped out the mermaids and her t'other sea creatures. Did you ever think about today? Ing, please spare us. We really know we are wrong, we are now following Lord Huaxian. We will reform ourselves and will never hurt other tribes again." The Dead Spirit's gaze returned to Huaxian. "Hubby, you decide what to do." All eyes were focused on Huaxian. The sea people were extremely shocked, they didn't expect that this human race was so terrifying that they could even subdue the extremely powerful king of the Death Pirates. Huaxian looked at He and Pengjun and Dniuwud inferently and said, "Killing someone means paying with your life, this is a law from ancient times. If you make a mistake, you must bear the consequences." After saying this, he looked at the Sea Tribe and said, "The murderer is left to you to deal with." The high-ranking members of the Sea Clan all trembled in fear. They did not expect that the other party was so powerful and would hand over the murderer. For a moment I couldn't believe it. The little whale man reacted, raised his weapon high, and shouted, kill them, and avenge our people." Countless sea creatures swarmed towards pirate ships No. 3 and No. 8. "Let's fight. Fight them." Neither Huaxian nor the Dead Spirit Jusheng suppressed them. After all, if the sea people want to take revenge, they have to show their own abilities. The two sides, with a huge gap in their advantage, started a bloody fight. Although He and Pengjun and Dniuwud are both powerful warriors above level 20, there are more powerful warriors in the Sea Clan. Under the siege, in less than a quarter of an hour, more than 20,000 pirates were turned into pieces, with no one left alive. After the murderer was dealt with, the sea people's attention was focused on Huaxian. "Thank you, on my knees." The leading whale leader Rorden was the first to kneel down towards Huaxian. Millions of sea creatures knelt down in unison towards Huaxian. Whether it was the kindness or Huaxian's strength, these sea creatures knelt willingly without any complaints. If the other party had not been reasonable, these millions of sea creatures would probably have turned into corpses. Huaxian waved his hand and put away the thunder. The thunder in the sky then disappeared. Then he said calmly, "Everyone, get up." At this time, the only mermaid came out and flew towards Huaxian. Everyone's eyes followed her curiously, curious about what she is going to do. Huaxian was also quite curious. A mermaid came to Huaxian and knelt down in the void. "Thank you for helping me get revenge. I, the mermaid fairy, swore that if anyone helps me get revenge, I would serve him like a cow or a horse." "Like a cow or a horse?" Huaxian muttered, then smiled and said, "It's so unfair for you to be a slave. If you want, you can be my wife." Yan tried out in shock. Totally unbelievable. But such a terrifying and powerful person looked down upon me? The entire Sea Clan was also extremely shocked. The whale leader, who was the first to react, shouted, "Fish Fairy, the master thinks highly of you, why don't you thank the master?" Yu Xianxian finally reacted, "Xianxian is willing to marry you and serve you without any complaints." Huaxian smiled and helped her up and said, "Since she is my wife. She is one of USD on TB, so self-deprecating Jusheng's wife. Take her to get familiar with the sisters." The dead spirit Jusheng rolled his eyes and still pulled Yu Xianxian away. Yu Xianxian was extremely frightened when she held her hand. She just saw how powerful this sister is. "Don't be afraid. We are all your husband's women, we are family," the dead spirit Jusheng said softly. Yu Xianxian finally breathed a sigh of relief. Huaxian looked at the leader of the sea whales and said, "Now that the matter has been resolved, it's time for us to leave," etc. But it was the little whale who shouted. Huaxian looked at her and asked, "What's wrong?" The little whale's body changed and it turned into a human form. It said to Huaxian, "I want to be your wife too." Oh. Huaxian was a little surprised. Her father was very nervous and angrily congratulated her. "Whale Hong Xia, don't let your imagination run wild. How could the adults like you?" Whale Hong Xia stared at Huaxian, waiting for his answer. Huaxian smiled and said, "My only hobby is to like beautiful women. You are so beautiful and proactive, so I won't be polite." This. The 80,000 sea creatures were shocked. I thought, is this possible? At this time, countless sea tribe women who thought they were pretty turned into human forms, stood up and said to Huaxian, "Sir, we are all willing to be your wives." Looking around, there are probably no less than 10,000 people. Huaxian was shocked. Everyone is so enthusiastic, so. "When I finish my work, I will visit your sea tribe and discuss matters of love between men and women. Hong Xia, if you don't leave yet, do you want your husband to pick you up next time?" Whale Hong Xia's face turned slightly red, and then she flew towards Huaxian. The other beauties from the sea tribe realized that they were rejected and felt very sorry. Huaxian brought Whale Hong Xia back to the spaceship. And everyone looked over. Yu Xianxian excitedly ran to Whale Hong Xia and said gratefully, "Sister Hong Xia, thank you. I thought Jingyu Hong Xia was worried about her. So she compromised and became Huaxian's woman." Whale Hong Xia smiled and said, "Silly girl, why are you thanking me? It's all thanks to your husband." The evil spirit Yizu looked at the two of them and said to Huaxian in dissatisfaction, "Husband, you are really rude, you accept everything." Huaxian smiled and said, "The seafood is delivered to my door. Why should I be polite?" Yi Yuan was still laughing. And then said, "Husband, look at how scared you are of Yu Xianxian and Whale Hong Xia. They thought you were going to eat them?" Huaxian walked over, hugged the two of them and said, "I just want to eat them." Both of them shuddered. The fear reached its extreme. "I didn't expect that this seemingly kind-hearted human actually had such a hobby." Yu Xianxian cried to Whale Hong Xia, "Sister Hong Xia, I'm sorry, I hurt you." Huaxian smiled and asked them, "Who will go first?" Yu Xianxian said fiercely, "Now? Can you please let Sister Hong Xia go? Her meat is not tasty. The meat of our mermaids is the most delicious, please don't eat her. Okay?" Huaxian laughed like crazy, and after a while he said, "It depends on your performance, come with me." He took Yu Xianxian and left. Yu Xianxian really thought she was going to be eaten, and said to the Whale Hong Xia reluctantly, "Sister Hong Xia, take care." Whale Hong Xia was not so naive, she gradually understood what Huaxian meant by eating. Her face turned dread with embarrassment, and she cursed him inwardly as if he was shameless. Chapter 581, Take Down. In the room, Yu Xianxian asked in confusion, "Sir, aren't you going to eat me? Why did you bring me to the room? Are you planning to eat Xianxian alive?" Huaxian was amused by Yu Xianxian's innocence. He opened his mouth wide and said, "That's right, I'm going to eat you alive and swallow you whole in one bite." "And will Xianxian be in pain?" Yu Xianxian asked with a pale face. "I was so disappointed that I almost cried." She continued, "It will definitely be painful, you will rot bit by bit in my stomach until all your flesh and blood has rotted away and you will die. Sir, please give Xianxian a quick death, okay? Xianxian has avenged her people. Xianxian is not afraid of death, but she is afraid of pain." Huaxian couldn't help laughing, and gently hugged her in his arms and said, "If you are afraid of pain, then I will be gentler." He unrest Yu Xianxian bit by bit. That arrogant scene that shouldn't be seen was so perfect that Huaxian almost vomited blood when he saw it. He had to admit that the mermaids had the best figures he had ever seen. Even the indeed Jusheng, who has reached the God King level, is slightly inferior in comparison. Yu Xianxian thought Huaxian was going to take off her clothes and eat her alive. So she closed her eyes in despair and tears. When Huaxian took off her clothes, He looked at her flawless body. Her skin was more tender and elastic than jade. And there was not a single flaw in her body. Even the rotten toes are so evenly distributed, which enhances the temperament of the body to the extreme. In the end, I can only use one word to describe it. Beautiful. He hugged Yu Xianxian gently and carefully, as if he was afraid that he would hurt her if he used too much force. Yu Xianxian closed her eyes tightly, and became more and more panicked as Hu Xian touched her. Who doesn't fear death? Gentle Hu Xian's actions became more and more excessive. When that layer of barrier was breached, accompanied by Yu Xianxian's screams, the real battle began. Yu Xianxian opened her eyes in pain and saw Hu Xian's evil smile. She finally understood something. This guy air like this. The more she thought about it, the more embarrassed she became. I also breathed a sigh of relief. In less than an hour, Yu Xianxian became too nervous and surrendered. Hu Xian couldn't bear to hurt him anymore, so he had to stop, pulling Yu Xianxian back to the crowd. Faced with everyone's stares, Yu Xianxian was even more shy. While Hong Xia looked at Hu Xian and thought, could this guy be incompetent? The battle ended so quickly. Hu Xian saw her eyes and understood her meaning. How could she stand being looked down upon? She had no place to vent her anger. So she rushed over, hugged Whale Hong Xia and returned to the room. I was so anxious that I forgot to close the door. When the cry of the Whale Hong Xia was heard, everyone looked at each other in silence. Looked through the crack in the door. Clang! The door was shut heavily at this time.